This is Beer Guys Radio. We are live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. It used to be Periscope. I don't think it's Periscope anymore.
I don't think so. I think
it's just Twitter now.
That is now deceased.
The time has come, Brian. Oh, Zapped is.
Oh, Zapped is.
It is tapped. It's time for our annual Oktoberfest tasting show.
Correct.
And we're just going to have an absolute blast with this. We're going to taste Oktoberfest and give our favorites. We got a dozen on deck today. And I thought that we normally did like 2 per segment. And I thought we were going to take a dozen. So
I think that looking at my previous notes, we usually did about three a segment. I thought
we did go with 12 then. Okay.
Yeah. I think that there may have been a couple times where we only had like 11 or 10. We didn't have enough for a full 3 throughout, but
yeah,
it's generally been 3 a segment.
All right. We got a square dozen this year then, huh?
Exactly.
That'll be fun. We'll announce you guys again when we get to the radio show portion, but we have Matthew McCloskey with us, president of the Beer Growler in Brookhaven. Is it officially Brookhaven? Is Brookhaven a town?
Brookhaven is its own city.
Okay. Brookhaven, Georgia, then, in the ATL area there. So we also have Stephen Cascade, and he is the general manager here at Ironmonger Brewing. Our friends, our partners, Ironmonger Brewing. Thanks, guys, for coming and hanging with us.
Glad to be here.
We appreciate you coming to drink beer with us. It's one of our favorite things to do.
Same.
Likewise.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Stephen, the Beer Growler, man. So, you kind of told me your story. You've been with them total about 10 years, right? And when did you take over ownership of your shop?
Just at the end of July. We closed July 27th. So I've been owner for just over a month, but I've been there for damn near 10 years.
So you know what's up then. You know what's going on.
I better.
Yeah, you bet. Right. One way or it doesn't matter if you do or not. You got to take responsibility for it, right? Yeah. Good stuff, man. Well, the way we're going to do this, because of the flow of the show, we are going to taste during our break segments when we're not recording the radio show. And then we will discuss more in depth in the radio segments there. Nate, think we got some comments there. Folks, thanks for joining us. Please do. It starts right now.
Right now,
Olivia. I'm going to think you know this person, right?
I do.
I would think you do. We're going to try and work on that. We're going to feed him lots of beer and bratwurst, pretzels and cheese and whiskey. So we'll do what we can. We will do what
he'll roll
can.
out of here about 300 pounds.
It wouldn't be a shift at work without Doc talking some smack to me.
Yeah. So. Okay. There you go. It's one of our favorite shows of the year as well. We enjoy this one. Get in here and taste all these Oktoberfest beers. It's going to be a good time.
It's basically us drinking the entire time. It's great.
Right.
Which is not too dissimilar for most of our shows.
You know what? Get your face in front of the camera for a second here. We have to say thank you to Nathan. This is No Mike Nate's roommate. And for the past 2 years, he has helped us out by pouring these samples for us so we can blind taste. He's made the master list. He knows what they are. We don't.
Yeah,
we get them in these custom glassware. These were imported from Germany.
I think so.
Germany, Alabama. It's a little town over there.
By way of China.
Right. So, but this keeps us from knowing what we're getting into. When we get into the show, into the actual radio segments, we'll talk a little bit more about what ones we're going to drink. But guys, let's do it. Go ahead and taste away. See what you think there. Beer number one.
I've been sipping on this while you've been talking. So
yeah.
Is that cheating?
Go ahead and start your thoughts then, Brian.
I have generally favorable opinions of it. Okay. I was just thinking the one downside of these really exotic custom glassware that we had imported from Germany, Alabama,
right,
is we can't actually look through and see the clarity, but we can look down into it and get an idea of the color. So
sure,
once the heads dissipated a bit, I think there's a nice lingering caramel to it, and there we go. It's nice and clear.
Okay,
yeah,
all right, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, this is quite nice.
So I noticed, in my opinion, it's a little hop forward for an Oktoberfest. I do get some hop bite there.
I think
bitterness.
There's I get some. I didn't notice the bitterness so much as I noticed there's a touch of like an aromatic quality to it that I enjoy. I would guess that's from the hops.
I can confidently say that this one will not win for me.
Okay.
Because it is not my personal favorite profile.
I probably made a mistake by having a sip of whiskey before this because the bitterness did not come through very much. But I'm looking for it now. I did get the aromatic touch.
All right.
So that's
Gotcha.
That's a consideration, but I'm so much more relaxed now that
Are
I've
ya?
had the whiskey. So
That's it. These are both the same, right? Okay. There's your number 2, Matthew.
Thank you.
I'm gonna
So-
write numbers.
Yeah,
on my-
number them up there.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Don't
try
mess
to.
up this custom glassware here.
My number one.
I ruined my pen already there. So
Okay.
I think we got another comment there I haven't seen. What do we got? He does look like a guy that knows his beer. You got the fan club here, man.
Yeah, man.
Admirers. That's a good thing.
New fans showing up for it.
That's good. That is good stuff.
But yeah, just talking about that first one, I definitely do get a bit of a happiness to it as far as the style is.
Yeah.
It seems,
Not much
but
sweetness
still, there definitely is the caramel notes.
there. Mm-hmm.
So this is
I
one
get a
feel
little
like
touch of
almost-
honey in it too.
Did
this
you?
one almost
Yeah.
I feel that kind of walks between the Fesbtier and Marzen style.
I don't know. It's very easy drinking. I could drink 2 big jugs of it. Especially
Couple
if it's
liters, couple of
brought
big
to me
liter
with
mugs
a
there.
nice lady and wearing a drindle.
Yes. Yeah. Have a good time with it. All right. Beer number 2. Lighter in color, which we can't see. Nate, you'll have to be our photographic representation there.
Well, that tells me a lot about it. Just the color. Yeah. I will say that I'm convinced that this is definitely German. This one.
German.
Yeah. I think I get a touch of like the. Wonder if it was in a bottle because I get a little hint of the light struck, the little bottle character, just a hint of it. So
You know, I think
Not
I
bad.
think I do too,
but
not enough to be offensive. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
it's just enough to tell me like, oh yeah, this traveled an ocean to get here, probably.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the unfortunate things with the German ones that come over here, even if they get here quickly. I am personally the Amber Marzen. That's me. I like the bringing a little more maltiness there. That's more my preference.
Yeah, I think I favor the Marzen just because that's the style I most associate with Oktoberfest. But a good fest beer, I'm pretty sure this is a fest beer. I like this one.
Well,
a lot.
see,
I
here's
like
the
this more than
thing.
the first one.
I could see a big old Schweinhaxe and
Yeah.
some cabbage and potatoes and stuff with this. Like you said, Steven,
Yeah,
a liter or 2 of this with a big German meal. I'm in. I'm
Mhm.
so in for that.
For sure. I think if I was just to have one answer in a ATL 6245s with just like one, I think I prefer the old Marzen style.
Yeah,
But as the night grows and the liters
go that way with
the
it.
fest beer starts seeming more and more appealing as you go on. That little
True.
crispness to
See,
it.
Drinkability, the
Yeah.
fest beers do have long term.
I always go the other way with it.
Really?
Well, I mean, I usually think, I'm going to start off with a light drink here. I'm going to do this, but then as I have more of those, the heavier stuff sounds. You know me, man. I'll start with a lager and end with Fireball.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
As you do. I mean,
or Utopias, like that.
I mean,
one
it's like the recommended things doing a tasting. You either have crackers or you have like a shot of Fireball. It's a clear the palate. You know, get yourself primed and ready
crackers or
Good reset
Fireball.
button there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Maybe crackers
Either
and
crackers or
Fireball.
Fireball.
If you've
Helps
really been,
you actually forget the last thing you drank.
that's right. That's a good way of resetting, though.
Brian calls that a charcuterie plate, crackers and Fireball. Numero tres, gentlemen. What's the German word for 3, Brian, with your 2
Dry.
years? Dry.
Dry Fontainen. Dry Fontainen. It's
3
dry.
fountains, yeah.
Dry.
Okay. Same in German, huh?
Yeah.
Freaky deaky Dutch, German. I know that, but I like that. So the comment up, some people feel the Marzen is too sweet. I know they do. I like that. That is that's my preference for the style. When it comes to Oktoberfest, the Amber Marzen, a little bit of sweet maltiness, that's where I am. That is my jam.
But if I'm doing Oktoberfest, I want a Marzen. Like I like the fest beers a lot, and
Yeah.
I will probably wind up drinking a lot more of those. But if it's Oktoberfest, I want a Marzen.
I will say I'm equal opportunity though. I'm not going to turn either one down. So
Are Marzens mostly just for Oktoberfest, or can they be found year round?
So I think sometimes they may be an amber lager that's going to be pretty darn close to it. I think one brewery actually did one and just called it an amber lager since it was outside of the Oktoberfest season.
Yeah.
So
They show up.
yeah,
Pollen or officer Oktoberfest year round.
they do. Okay. Is that of the Marzen or Fesbtiers style?
Marzen.
Okay. There you go.
And I think, and we'll probably go into this in the show, but it's the Apolliner Oktoberfest Marzen is generally made for us over here because we like the Marzens more than they do, but they sell it over there. They didn't used to. I think they call it a Munich Marzen or Municher Marzen. Just like they don't even call it Oktoberfest, but it's available.
Okay. Bang on beer review. I'm with you. Yeah. Don't take it too far, but that little bit of sweetness in the Marzen style, I'm all about it. It can go too far, but if done right, bring it on.
Does anybody else find the third one almost a little on the buttery side? Is it just me?
I would definitely say it's a smoother one.
Yeah, I'm borderline with that. It's sweet. It's got a softness to the.
I don't get any, but are you talking like diacetyl?
No, kind of like more of a texture thing, like
Yeah,
The
almost
texture,
buttery,
creamy, buttery.
Yeah, buttery
on
texture.
that, I'm with you. On that, I'm with you.
Not something that you want in your beer. I would take it. Do you dig that it's
Well,
buttery?
I'm taken back a little bit by it because I'm like, oh, hold up, I'm not sure what I think about this. So, I'm gonna drink some more and think about it.
Okay.
Honestly.
I will say so far that none of these have hit the sweetness that I want. None of these have been on the sweeter side. So, but if I was to judge this one on color, I'd say it's probably presented as a Marzen.
Yeah,
That's my prediction on number 3. I don't know. That's kind of in between, isn't it? It looks a little lighter in your glass than in my cup, Nate.
I think I agree. This is probably a Marzen. I actually am getting a little on the corn and cornish kind of things as well.
Cornish butter.
Yes, Cornish butter. Matt is the man.
Matt is the man.
I've been doing some advertising for you guys
Dude,
lately.
look at you go, man. Look at you go.
Wow, yeah.
You're our new favorite guest.
He'll be on every week, folks.
All right, gentlemen, are we ready to do have we tasted our 3? Do we have our opinions here? How did we do this last year? Do we disclose here? We don't disclose during this. We do it at the end. We don't want to know what we've already tasted, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we
Okay.
don't. Yeah, we don't know what we've tasted. I don't think we know what we. Yeah, at the end.
Yeah, we can't really because that'll eliminate others from the
But
consideration.
But I think we do give like our personal rankings of the ones
we
we've
do
had, so
by number. So you got to stick around to the end of the show to get the full scoop.
exactly.
You have to. So, gentlemen, we're going to do some radio here. We ready to do this? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So do we have the?
Nope. Hold on. Can't talk during the intro music there.
We're recording.
So, all right.
Do you want to ask your question?
Yeah,
The question was going to be if we have the full lineup of what 12 ones we are sampling.
we do. We'll talk about those here so you'll know the full lineup, but we won't talk about which is which until the end of the show. All right. Cool.
Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show,
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yo, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Brian Hewitt.
Welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are broadcasting from the Beer Guys Radio Studios. And this week, it is time, Brian.
It's time.
It is our annual Oktoberfest blind beer tasting extravaganza spectacular.
yes, it is.
That's the official name of the show. I'm Tim Dennis, and with me, as always, good friend and co-host Brian Hewitt.
Hey, Tim. So joining us today, we have Matthew McCloskey, the president of the Beer Growler in Brookhaven, Georgia. And we also have Stephen Cascade, the general manager of our friends at Ironmonger, which we happen to be at right now.
We are right
Yeah.
here.
So yes, we're talking Oktoberfest beers, and doing a nice blind tasting of a good dozen of them. So
it's so much fun.
Yeah,
It is so much fun. We look forward to this. We'll do it again here in a couple of months for the holiday beers.
Yeah, the Christmas beer show.
We should do this more often. It's a good
like
excuse to drink too much.
Exactly. I had another idea of a topic. We should do a smoke beer one. You'll love that, Tim. We should.
I don't even want to do the show with you at all anymore after that suggestion, man. Matthew, what do you think of smoked beers?
Ooh, you gotta have a time and a place for that.
Yeah.
It is not something I could drink every day. But if you're sitting by a campfire or actively smoking a cigar, they can hit the spot.
Get the compare versus contrast there.
I do have the time and place for it. The time is all the time.
Time is now.
But the place is everywhere. So there
right
you go.
Here, right
You've
now.
got
who was that did that?
What's that?
Right here, right now.
Right here, right now. Is that right here, right?
There's no other place I'd want to be. I forget who it is.
It's from the 80s, Tim. Don't you're dating us.
That's too much.
I'm not that old. I do not recall, old man.
Okay, fair enough. Matthew, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and about the Beer Growler?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you a little about myself, or starting with the Beer Growler. It started as a serving just growlers, as the name implies, and it was just off-premise consumption only. But over the years, it's changed to allow on-premise consumption, which is now the majority of what we do. So it's a tap house in Brookhaven. We've got 45 taps, most of them beer. I've been working there for about 10 years and just took over as the owner a little over a month ago.
Now, you said most of them beer. What else do you put on tap there?
We've got a mead, 2 ciders, 3 seltzers, and a couple soft drinks available.
Okay. And I think talking about the shift to being a tap room where people can come in and drink, that was a smart move on the part of the Beer Growler, because 5 years ago, maybe, with the big growler boom that we had here.
Even grocery stores had growlers.
I guess it was pre-2017, right? Like before we got the right for the breweries to sell here, but we saw a lot of them demise of the growler shops there.
Yeah, the Beer Growler is actually the first growler shop in the state of Georgia. The first one opened in Athens, but at one point we had a line of customers just to fill growlers, and there wasn't a lot of good places to buy good beers here in Georgia.
Yeah.
And then as the years went on, the grocery stores and gas stations now sell good selections of local craft beers, and the growler bubble kind of popped. So
it used to be that's the way you had to get the good beers. They weren't coming out in cans like they are now. So I still have a cabinet full of empty growlers.
I have given many of mine away because I know people that actually collect the different interesting glassware, and somehow I got more. They keep coming back. So
you're breeding in your cabinet there, right?
Well, you know where the growler situation is when you have your like local grocery store, Kroger in my case, where they closed that down. That went away.
Yeah.
Like that's over. They had it and then it's gone. So yeah.
Right.
But I've been to his growler shop. It's a great bar. I love hanging out there.
It's in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Over there.
I've gotten growlers there before, but not in a long time. But I've gone over there and had a lot of beers though. So
as you're known to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a good bar. It's a great bar.
Good stuff. Yeah. Steven, you are fairly new to the Ironmonger team, correct?
Yeah, that's right. I'm just a couple weeks in here, but I've been drinking beer as long as I can legally, and maybe a little bit before that, from the Pacific Northwest, and grew some hops out there. And even when I turned 21, I moved to Boulder, Colorado, just so I could get some more craft beer. But I've been out here long enough to adopt saying y'all, and I'm just amazed at the growth of craft beer in this area, and it's a real dream to take the helm here at Ironmonger.
Good stuff. And Steven's like, he's fixing to tell you all about these beers. That's how long he's been down here.
He's only been here 3 months, but he immediately switched over.
How y'all doing?
He immediately picked up the accent and the words.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Steven, your background, even though you're new to Ironmonger, hospitality, food service, and that for many years, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, the beer's already great here. And so what I want to bring as an add-on is more events. We got Oktoberfest we're going to be having on the 8th of October.
8th, right? Cool.
Mark
your calendars, locals. October 8th.
October 8th. Social media. But we're going to get live music in general out here. We got our glow throw back up with our axe throwing. And, I'm glad to share space with y'all. And see, I can pull that off.
He pulled off.
Yes, he did.
It was believable. Yes, well done. Well done.
Good stuff, man. Slid right. I didn't even notice it. It was so natural. It's so good. So good there. Well, y'all are. I did it unintentional. I say it all the time, though. I've been in the South a long time, so it's in me there.
Are you getting to the beers of the week? Is that what's
No,
happening?
not quite.
yet?
Not
Okay.
quite. Settle down.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
Oktoberfest, as anyone who follows the show knows, we have a self-imposed embargo on drinking any Oktoberfest until September 1st. That is our little way of fighting seasonal creep. Two men standing up to seasonal creep, so we're not getting our Oktoberfest July 1st. And I was actually out in San Diego on September 1st, out there. Great beer scene out there. And I intended to get an Oktoberfest beer out there, but just didn't get the time. So I think may have been the 3rd, Brian, the 3rd of October.
Wow. You really held your ground for as long as possible.
Did you get into them on the 1st? It's the 1st, let's go.
I did not. I was going to, and I think what happened is I wound up, I got busy and I wound up waiting until the next day to get to it. I don't even remember why exactly. I was tied up. I was busy. I was too busy for beer for that particular night. But as soon as I could, I did cheat a little bit. We did have some Oktoberfest when
talking about
Kelly
Dry County.
Kelly and I did. Oh, we did with Dry County too. I went down there Kelly and I decided that
when you
down
went
to
down
San
to San Antonio,
just to have an Oktoberfest, just to annoy you.
Yeah, if you listen, thanks guys. If you listen to the show, you wrote the book How Not to Start a Damn Brewery.
Yes.
And just out of matter of coincidence, Brian was headed down to San Antonio that weekend where Kelly is, so they got to meet up and have a couple beers.
Yeah,
enjoy a couple.
Had
beers
proper
together.
steins and everything. It was very close to the end of August, but not quite there. So
yeah,
I actually broke the embargo. Well, we did already though with the Dry County.
We did. So that's my one exception. If a brewer is kind enough to bring me a beer and share it, I don't turn them down just because of that. So that is my caveat to allow me to cheat.
Yeah, it's easier just to drink it than actually physically throw them out of the
Calling
studio,
the brewers,
so.
can you bring me a beer, man? Because
Yeah.
that's so. No. All right, Brian. I think it's time for the beers of the week.
All right, do it.
Oktoberfest beers, all of Fesbtiers, Marzens, whatever we want to get into. Our methodology here is that we're not BJCP judges. We're not going to be giving you all these style rankings or profiles and that. This is simply on, do we enjoy the beer? What do we like? As we talked about a little bit before the show, we had some folks watching our live stream that asked, do we like the Fest beer, which is typically a little drier, a little less sweet, or the Marzen? I'm a Marzen guy. I like the little bit of malty sweetness in there. So this is just going to be based on our personal preference here of what each individual taster likes. We will talk about the entire beer list, and then we're going to taste them blind. We will not mention the beers we're tasting each segment until the end of the show. So we don't know that, but we will tell the lineup of what we're going to get. And Brian, you alphabetized this list for me.
I did. Yes.
This is beautiful. It's a wonderful thing, Brian. I appreciate it. So first up, and this one's going to be interesting, Brian, I'm interested to see where they land. We brought our friends Athletic Brewing into the tasting with a non-alcoholic. So I would like to make a request right now that anybody, if you think you can nail the NA beer as we're tasting through these, make a note of it. I'd like to see if anybody picks it out of the lineup. So we have Anger Oktoberfest, which is a Marzen style. From Brooklyn Brewing, their Oktoberfest, which is a Marzen. Hackers Shore, Oktoberfest Marzen. Hofbrau Oktoberfest beer, which is a Fest beer. Ironmager Oktoberfest Marzen style. We have Paulaner Oktoberfest Marzen, which is a Marzen style, as you may have guessed. Good old Sammy Adams. He doubled down.
He did. Yeah.
Just like last year. Sam Adams Fest beer and Samuel Adams Oktoberfest, a Fest beer and a Marzen. We have Spaten Oktoberfest Marzen, Wine Heinsten Steffenfanner Fest beer.
Correct.
And Yingling Oktoberfest Marzen. So those are the 12 beers on our tasting for this year. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, Brian. We need to take a little bit of a break, but we will be right back to get more into Oktoberfest beers. Marzens.
Yeah. Fast beer.
Marzens. A little, what is it?
ASMR?
Yeah.
ASMR.
Maltese. Malt.
What would put you to sleep quicker?
Malt.
Malt. Hops. No, wait. Very little hops.
That's not it. No hops at all.
Almost none.
All right, let's see what we got here. Let's do this. Yes, we are going to talk about that, Kristen, in just a minute. Kristen asked the difference in the different Oktoberfest beers, the Fest beer and the Marzen, and that is, I think as we go into the next segment, Brian,
Yeah.
you talk about that some. So yeah, we will definitely get into that here very shortly.
Oh, this is number 4 that's coming out. Number 4.
Number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Is this 2 4s?
2 4s.
A 4 for you. Cheers from Kettle Rock Brewing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephen Pete. Always glad to see you,
El
man.
Presidente.
It's good stuff. El Presidente, the Rizzle Dizzle, as they say. Yeah, good. Good, man. What a fan club. Kettle Rock Brewing's Fest Beer, okay. Doing a Fest Beer style. We'll be tapped by the Peachtree Corners mayor. Steven, you got to let us know, did you do an actual keg of it? Is it an actual tapping that you're going to do? September 17th for the annual starting day of Oktoberfest. Yeah, good point. Vienna Lager, and I dig those as well.
Yeah, those are quite nice.
Says the Vienna Lager, it's similar maltiness, but a bit drier than the Mars. And yeah, it kind of falls in between there, doesn't it? The Fesbtiers and the Marzens. So, but yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of those.
I think that on a previous show when we talked to now I'm dropping Owen Ogletree, he referenced them in terms of the Fesbtiers being kind of like a bigger version of a Hellas almost, but I don't think that's a perfect thing. I think it's somewhere in between the 3. So,
all right, guys, I'm gonna throw it out. 4 is my favorite so far.
but I have a prediction for this one.
Toasty bread,
Yeah,
little toasty bread caramel.
I get a little raisininess in this. I don't know if
Let
anybody
me
else.
taste it again.
Okay.
So I'm big. Steven, question for you. How are you with the power of suggestion when it comes to flavors?
You got the wrong name.
Matthew. Maybe I've had too much to drink already.
This is why we have all Nates on this side, and we should have all Stevens or
Yeah,
Matthews
just
on
do
this
it
side.
there.
Which
Yeah.
you guys
Streamline
pick a
this
name that you want to
process.
go with.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Matthew, how are you about the power of suggestion?
Well, as using it, it's definitely
Yeah.
a thing. You know, you'd start describing flavors to people, and they start popping. And yeah, I'm a subject of it as well. The moment you say raisin, it's like, yeah, I was definitely thinking it's a little sweeter one, right?
Yep.
It's a darker one. You get that sort of
You
ruby to brown almost color through the white cup, but it's definitely a sweeter of the ones we've had so far.
But not sweet. Would you agree?
Sweeter in that, like, you're getting those caramel notes.
The
but not
malty
that
caramel,
but it's
right?
not
Mhm.
like a large dose of it. It still drinks
Yeah.
light, and so it doesn't linger in like a very sweet way. No.
Let me make a little note next to number 4 that's a contender for me.
Okay.
That is a
Yeah.
contender.
And he said toast, and I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of get that, but I also kind of get like sweeter, but like bread crust.
I was thinking brown toast, like not like a darker toast. So yes, crusty,
like a bread crust.
bread crust,
Yeah.
toasted crust, specifically in the
Toasted
northern
crust.
quadrant of the bread.
The northern quadrant of the bread.
That's what's interesting.
Very
Steven
geographically
Matthews.
Good thing, 'cause
specific.
I won't eat southern bread.
There you go. That's right.
That power suggestion is interesting though, because doing a blind test, you think of beer names these days, and it just picking out a beer by its beer name, like you already started imagining what it's going to taste like.
Yeah. Yep.
Do Oktoberfest beers tend to have like a clever names, or they usually just like
You know what? I think very
Oktoberfest.
few of them go for anything
so
crazy.
it's kind of a blind test, even if you know the
Yeah,
brand.
even if we knew that. Yeah, because all of these were like Oktoberfest beer, Fest beer,
Right.
Fest beer Marzen.
I think I have a prediction as to what 4 is
Do you?
based upon earlier consumption of beverages, either today or in the days prior to today.
What's that?
So,
You want color? That's 4.
That's what that.
That's
yeah,
4?
very
Yeah.
Marzeny.
that looks very Marzeny.
Varsity. I think that
Ooh,
last
5 is
one's
good,
one of my
too.
favorites. Yeah,
Are we stacking up the
I'm a Marzen guy too. Turns out.
Yeah. The things you find out when you drink a whole bunch of beers. at
That's
the same
right.
time, right?
A lot of things you learn about beer, life, love, all sorts
Everything,
of things
man.
you can
It
learn
just
while
opens
drinking.
up the world to you there.
We gotta start the.
Just opens up the world.
Sometime.
Kicking off the dump bucket over there.
Gotta start it off sometime.
Well, I mean, the only way we can have an Oktoberfest cuvee is to actually start making the cuvee now. So
Fair enough.
You know what? I would almost give the same notes for 5 as 4, but maybe a bit richer, a little deeper, a little richer.
More mouthfeel.
Yeah, yeah.
I put number on this already. Did I wipe it off with my hand? Guess so.
A little more sweetness, a little less of that bread crust that we were talking about.
Say for me, it tastes brighter.
Brighter? Yeah. Okay.
It's, yeah, like what Matthew was saying, where it's a little less of the breadiness. There's like a little bit of a citrus note to it, almost.
I get a touch of maybe I shouldn't say it, but I get a little hint of sweet apple in it. Like,
A
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Little sweet apple.
That's an idea.
So just drinking the thing,
You know
and
what?
then looking at it, I wouldn't have. Didn't.
What one's that? That's
that
5.
5?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking. I was looking at 4 before, so I was thinking 5 was definitely a fest beer. So it turns out that yes, that's a
That
fest
one
beer.
changed on me actually as I drink it. Maybe I still had some of number 4 on my palate because it. I want to change my opinion on that one. I will say of the lighter ones, of the ones that I'm pretty sure are fest beer, that was probably the most richly flavored so far.
You mentioned apple. Do you know of any Oktoberfest ciders?
Not off the
Come
top
up
of my
with.
head, but I mean, I could see that being appealing.
What would they do? What do you think, Steven? If you were to, just based on your personal thoughts, what do you think an Oktoberfest cider? What would be the profile there?
I don't know. You mentioned that. You guys mentioned that little apple flavor, and I started tasting it. And I don't know what would malt do in a cider if you could get some of that maltiness.
What's that called? A graph, Brian? Is that right? Like beer cider combo? Where's Bill Boyer when
There's
we
a
need
Yeah,
him?
few.
That's
like
true. Maybe it's
snake
just a
bites.
combo.
Yeah.
Snake
Yeah.
bites are what lager and cider, and then a Guinness and a cider has another name.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, there's a snake bite, and I can't remember. We did the.
Is there a red velvet? Is that
I think it might be black velvet or
Black
something like
velvet,
that.
yeah,
And
black
there might also be a thing with either champagne. It might be cider, it might be champagne. I don't remember which, but
Number 6. Cannabis. Heavy cannabis.
oh,
there is some dankness that smells dank. Yeah.
Just hits different. Yeah.
Just hits
Oktoberfest. Call it a Marzen. Give me a Schweinhox or something. What do they call it? Rouladen? Is that the rolled beef stuff with like pickles?
Possibly. That
I
sounds.
don't know.
that sounds
all this
plausible.
stuff. We got to get down for some German grub soon.
You're yeah,
RIP 5 Seasons,
exactly.
our old favorite place for Oktoberfest.
are all the 5 seasons gone now?
I believe they are all gone now.
Dang.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Midtown was the last one that kind of was hanging on there, right, Brian?
Yeah, and even that's gone.
Because Buckhead closed,
Yes.
or not Buckhead,
Sandy Springs, yeah.
Alpharetta.
Alpharetta.
So they had one up in
closed.
Alpharetta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
First.
in the old
Springs.
Buckhead Brewery
Yes.
location. And then then Sandy Springs there. And then Midtown Atlanta closed up on us. And they would do an Oktoberfest where it was like all you could eat. The food I think was $35 and all you could drink beer was like 20. So for $5 you got all the Oktoberfest beer and food you could handle.
Yeah, it was great.
It was redonkulous.
I don't know that number 6. Like, there's like a nice lingering, like, kind of hit the back of my tongue on that. Like, gave it a little fuller body.
That cannabis.
Yeah, cannabis. Like, there's not a lot of sweetness or anything up front, but it's kind of lingers with you.
The
nice
weediness is
way.
all that I'm getting. It's really dominating.
It's for some people. This is probably their weekend. It's like toast and weed.
Toast.
Honestly,
Well,
right?
kinda, yeah.
Can't relate.
Yeah.
Just the weekend.
Just the weekend. You know, hey, I'm not going to judge you. However you want to live your life, weekend, whatever. You know.
That's something I've been thinking about in hospitality. Is George is not there yet, but we have to be ready for the infusions to come our way. I know they're experimenting.
I don't know if we do, man. I'm just not sure we're gonna I can tell you being out in San Diego. Yeah, you know what? Why am I drinking this?
I don't like it.
To the dump bucket with you. All
I
right,
am
number
likely
6
I'm
there,
likely
so.
disqualifying number 6 just because.
Did you get weed?
Oh
Like
yeah.
heavy weed?
There's some dankness, some light struck to it. It's compared to everything else that we're drinking. It's pretty obvious to me it won't be in my running. I don't want to prejudice anybody against it if that's your thing.
I'll prejudice them.
If weed and toast is your thing,
I need to be a little careful because one of these beers is
right.
That's right.
Careful what you
Hang
say,
on.
right? Well, this one's just way off. I don't know what this trash is. So
right.
yeah,
This might be my job.
So
You're
it's
right.
like, how did the brewer's eyes look? Was there a little bloodshot? Because that might tell you something.
if it doesn't work out, we'll just have like 30 seconds of that sensor beep over you when you're talking
Right.
about yours. We're experiencing technical difficulties. So
Just splice together some other
no,
things.
that's not it. We got it. It's the real deal here.
I know my beer's good.
Good.
I'm not worried.
There you go. Right. I know my beer's good. That's it. Where'd the Nathan go? We lost the Nate.
Yeah, I think so. I think he may have maybe the dankness of that Oktoberfest
Hey,
was too much for him.
ATL 6245, come on down to the studio and get your soft pretzel. We ate most of
A
them,
pretzel
but
stick, yeah.
we got a couple there.
Deconstructed pretzels, sort of.
So we usually get our official pretzel of Oktoberfest blind beer tasting is QT. Quick Trip does a really nice soft pretzel if you've never had those. My QT was out. They were sold out of pretzels. So
Wow.
Dairy Queen to the rescue with their pretzel sticks. And actually, when those were warm, they were really good.
Yeah, those were quite nice.
Yeah.
Those were a good fill-in for the QT
it
ones
worked.
we usually
We
get.
made it. We're survivors. Call it some
Adapt and overcome or something like that.
Yeah, there's another word in that little saying too.
As Charles Darwin said, it's not the
What
fittest, nor the smartest.
improvise, adapt, and overcome. What's that?
As Charles Darwin said, it's not the fittest that survives, nor the most intelligent, but that most willing to adapt.
There you go. That's it, man. That's it. I'm actually taking not a class. I'm going through our businesses. My day job, our business is going from kind of a large, small business to a corporation, fairly good size. And we're learning about the transition there. And that's one of the keys that they're teaching us. You have to be willing to adapt. And that's one of the hardest things for a business is you get so set in your ways, and not just a business, life, Matthew, in life. People get set in their ways and they just can't change. They can't adapt.
So do you think,
Right, Nate?
in terms of Oktoberfest, is it better for them to change, or is it better to be more traditional?
I think so. Here's something. I think there's evolution, which is change. But if it's not abrupt and it's evolution, that's cool because it's still traditional, if you're just slowly evolving there. IPAs, 10 years ago was the IBU wars.
That's right.
1,000 IBUs, 110, 4,000.
Now it's the lactose wars, or
Mhm.
I don't know what it is. What is
Those old hop monsters
lactose.
was what got me into craft beer. Like
Yeah.
I was chasing it for ages, and then I wanted the smoothest IPA possible. Now I'm starting to go back full circle. Not all the way full circle, but somewhere in a nice balance.
Again, San Diego, as you might imagine, lots of West Coast IPAs out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of places only had maybe a single Northeast on, Brian, a hazy or Northeast, and they did go West Coast. They actually had 2 or 3 different places I went and had what they called a San Diego IPA, and they're telling me that it was sort of hybrid, like kind of Northeast meets West,
A West Coast.
a West Coast, yeah,
West Coast.
Northwest.
Is that basically what everybody does? They kind of like, because they did that here too. It's like, we're not going full Northeast. We're going to kind of do so everybody outside the Northeast is mixing the West Coast and the Northeast.
For my palate, I would have still called it the West Coast if I blind tasted it.
And I think that
Yeah.
a lot of the ones that I've seen where people claim to have done that, I'm like, well, you've really just created a murky West Coast IPA.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a fan. Yeah, like Alpine just came back to Georgia, and I got their Nelson, which I remember being a clean West Coast IPA. Maybe my memory's failing me, but it's now pouring hazy, but still has
Is it?
those West Coast notes, still like that big hop pop. Well,
Big hot pop.
there with a smooth texture to it. I'm really digging it.
That could be a T-shirt.
Big
Big
hot
store.
pop. Yeah.
I did not realize I'd seen them on the shelf, and I thought, wow, that's some really old product. I didn't realize they'd made it back
It
here
just
again.
came back.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Big
need to
Hot
check it
Pop
out because I
sounds like
know
a
it's
ska
fresh
band.
right now.
Yeah.
It's not always easy to know whether
No
or not
comments?
one of those IPAs is fresh out there.
So we don't have beer cheese dip. I think DQ gives us, I think it's a jalapeno cheese, maybe.
Yeah, it's some sort of
It was good.
yeah, it's
It
good
worked.
enough.
We've got bratwurst. Come on down to the studio. Beer
Yeah.
review.
If he
beer
brings his
review.
lederhosen, then he's welcome.
ATL 6245. Yeah, come on down to the studio. We got brats and pretzels here and whiskey.
and whiskey. Yeah, yeah.
What else we got?
I think we can make
Cheese?
we can make Camparis. I know
We
we
got
did that
some
over the
Gouda.
weekend. Yeah,
Got some Gouda. We got the stuff to make Campari.
Yeah, that's right.
Negronis
Negronis. Yeah, Campari is
is the
pre-made. Yeah,
ingredient, right?
my bad.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any weed though.
No, we don't. Somebody's going.
We
shit
got
over
a
there.
shitload of
last
fest
beer.
beer.
What's that?
There was that last beer. Might have
Oh
had
yeah,
some.
you could try smoking that and see how that goes for you.
Hat with the feather, that alpine hat. I feel like we could have prepped more. Where did Bernice's chicken hat go?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you? That was yours, was it? Did you take that
think
back
it-
with you?
It may have been Smalls.
Oh, could
So
be.
she may have taken it. Was it? Is that right? Do you know? You just, yeah. So, okay. All right, y'all. Let's do some radio. We're going to talk a little bit about our first 6 beers when we get into this. Brian, how you want to come into it? Do you want to start with some history? We want to start talking about beers? Want to mix the two? How about we talk about our first 3?
Okay. Yes.
You throw us some of your interesting information.
Okay.
Brian did a lot of hella, I think is the technical term,
Hella.
research
Hella's lot
for
yes.
this show. So that's what we'll do. Let's do that.
All right. That sounds good.
Follow and Instagram.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Now back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Remember, all episodes are available on demand. So if you missed the broadcast, get the podcast. Beer Guys Radio is available on the Podcast Park and all popular and unpopular podcasting apps. Now let's get back to the Oktoberfest show.
The Oktoberfest show. Brian, we have tasted 6 beers.
We have.
So far. 6 beers. We're going to talk about them a little bit here. Brian's going to drop some Oktoberfest knowledge on us as
Yes.
well. Stephen, let's go back to beer number 1. Tell us about beer number 1. What are your thoughts on number 1 there?
I think that was one of my favorites. We were discussing, who likes the Marzens compared to Fesbtiers, and I think I'm with you on the Marzens. That one had some nice malt flavors and a nice medium body for me. So that's one of my top picks. So
That's
far.
up there so far for you. Good deal. Good deal. Stephen, how about you? What's been your favorite so far?
Remember, there's only
My
one
gosh.
Steven.
Can you guys both just be Stephen for the
Yes.
rest of
Listen,
That's the
For that,
second
I'm glad
time
we-
I've done that. Matthew.
So, yeah.
give off that
The
same
first
vibe.
Matthew. He's like, what disrespect? I come up in here and they disrespect me like this. Can I write your name on your shirt?
Yeah.
So
If you do it on my forehead, it's probably
right there. It's
easiest,
like,
so
well,
you
that's
can-
just so. Yeah. Stephen.
But
Matthew.
yeah, the first one I enjoyed. You get those nice caramel notes, but I thought it was rather light bodied for a Marzen. I was hoping like
Okay.
my ideal Marzen, the one that I'm going to vote for, is going to have more body than the first one.
Okay. Gotcha. I feel you there. Brian, moving on to number 2 here. Beer number 2. What were your thoughts on that one?
So that was definitely a fest beer. It was lighter. This is the first one that we encountered. It was only the second, but it was one that said this is definitely German. It had the hint of light struck. It said, "Hey, I've traveled across an ocean to get to you." I enjoyed it. I liked it more than number 1. It was malty sweet. It was also a little dry. It was good.
Okay.
It was kind
All
of.
right.
I think it was the leader of the pack for me for the first 3.
Okay. That was actually going to be my next question for Matthew. Out of the first 3, we're going to do these in rounds of 3. What was your top one in the first 3?
So while I'm doing this, I'm trying to mentally separate my Fesbtier and Marzens and
Okay.
judge them independently. But that second beer has my highest overall score.
Second
That
is for you right
Fesbtier that we had, I thought was pretty dang good actually.
now. Okay.
You've got a nice crispness to it, and we're sticking with this. Talking about number 2 so far.
That's we're all over the place. There's no telling what we're doing there.
I think
So,
that number 3 has been my favorite of the Marzens so far.
Okay.
Though. That had like
All
the
right.
more caramel, very smooth mouthfeel, as you were describing earlier, as like a buttery texture. I thought that there's still room to be beaten, but that was my favorite of the Marzens.
Now, you guys commented buttery texture, but we did clarify we're not talking about like diacetyl.
No,
correct?
not
Just
like
more
a popcorn flavor at all.
Okay.
But just like that silky smooth texture.
Right. Okay.
I did
Good
get
stuff.
a little kind of a corn-ish note to
Little
it,
bit.
a little bit. So on the cusp of that, perhaps, but acceptable, I would assume. But not actual flavor of butter or popcorn per se.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Steven, how about you in that first round of 3? What's your top spot there?
I think the fifth one is very malt forward. I think
The fifth of
we're
the first
agreeing.
3 was your favorite. Is that right? So, yeah.
All right, it's all going to my head.
Right. It happens.
The first
man.
3.
Yeah. What's your number 1 of the first 3?
Number 1.
Number
one's
one.
Number
Okay.
one.
Number one
Number
is just
one is
number
number
one.
one.
Okay, easy
And
enough.
I'm gonna say in the first round of 3, none of those are gonna be in my top spot. I know this.
Okay.
I'm not gonna pick a favorite because none of those. I didn't think any of them were bad. Just none of them hit my preferred flavor profile. So we'll see what else comes up. Number 1, I put dry. I said not much sweetness there. Light character overall was my notes on that. On number 2, got a bit of grassiness. I said grassy, light, and toasty on number 2. And on number 3, I know it was a Marzen. To me, it had what I would describe as a green taste.
Oh, okay.
There. And dry. Marzen, a little bit green, dry.
Okay.
So that's my thoughts on
So
those
that's
first 3.
The first 3. So what'd you think about starting in the next 3?
The next 3? Okay, so I'm going to say out of 4, 5, and 6, that number 4 so far for me has been my favorite of our first 2 rounds. Okay.
Okay.
I would say that was a Marzen. I thought it was very toasty. And Brian, as you clarified, which I thought was an excellent point, the crusty part of the bread, like toasty crust.
Yes.
That richness that you get in the crust of a bread. Caramel notes, a little bit sweeter. But in Matthew, I think you and I chatted about this, not really sweet, just a little sweeter than some of the others, right?
Yeah, which standard you're using. It's not like overly sweet, but Marzen, I think it was sweeter than my ideal Marzen.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, so that would be my favorite there. Number 5, I started out really digging it and actually thinking it was a little richer and similar to number 4, but it changed considerably for me as I tasted it. Maybe I still had something on my palate there, and it was really light, and I just didn't really dig the flavor profile on number 5. On number 6, I'm fairly certain that was actually Bong Water. So that is my.
So you loved it.
And I don't know who I'm dissing right now by saying that, but
Yeah.
very weedy, very cannabis.
I'm
I
wondering
tend to
if
agree
number
with you.
6
Yeah.
may have been light skunked too much. Like
Little-
maybe
just really brought it in
maybe
there?
the
Yeah.
bottle was just exposed to too many elements. Maybe
I
there's a
suspect
chance-
it's also probably bottled and probably German.
Super light
Yeah.
struck there, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it of our first 2 rounds. Number 1 through 3, not bad beers, but none of them hit my preferred flavor profile. Out of the second, number 4 is my favorite so far. And out of our first half of our competition, number 4 is the one beer that I know will be in contention for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of the other way with of the total 6 that I've done so far in order. 5 and then 4 are my favorites. So the whole second set is a very strong showing for me.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Brian, as we talk about Oktoberfest, as I mentioned, you do a pretty good little bit of research here
I do.
on what the season is about. I tell you what, let's start off with something. I see it's not first in your notes, but Brian, since we did have a question about this, can you break down the difference for us in Fesbtiers and Marzens?
Yeah, so let me see here. The idea is what we know is Oktoberfest beer here in the U.S. It's a Marzen. It's not the most popular beer anymore. Let me see, is that the right section? Yeah, I think that is. It's not the most popular beer anymore in Germany. As of starting in the 1970s, they switched over to a Fest beer, which is lighter in color. It's higher in gravity. It has greater drinkability. It's going to typically be less rich than a Marzen, so which leads to its drinkability. The higher ABV, it just became much easier to drink, and it really took off in starting 1970. But in 1953, Augustiner introduced this lighter colored beer as Edelstoff, and it really, it grew and grew and grew until it was the biggest beer there. So that's the basic idea. We were talking offline with some folks, and it's somewhere in between perhaps what the Vienna Lager and maybe a Helles,
maybe Fesbtier, Vienna, Marzens, if you're going that way.
And so it's kind of in a hybrid area, but lighter, drier, a greater drinkability than the Marzen. Your Marzen's going to be richer, more
Maltier.
caramels, more malty.
Caramel.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's gonna sit heavier with you.
And to note here, ABV wise, we have a variety of Fesbtiers and Marzens here. There's not a massive variance between the two. And looking at this, we have a 5.4 to 5.9 with the Hofbrau Oktoberfest beer jumping up to a 6.3. And the crazy one there, Athletic at less than 0.5%.
Yeah.
Since it is a non-alcoholic, but for the most part, we're in those mid fives on all of them except for the Hofbrau.
So this is interesting. In the years that we've been doing it, there used to be a more dramatic difference between the Marzens and the Fesbtiers, but the Marzens have been sneaking up. I think the Fesbtiers have been kind of holding their ground where they're at. The other one's catching up because, as you've heard in the news, higher gravity beers are more popular. People want higher
like
gravity.
One extreme and the other there,
Yes.
Brian? Yeah.
Like we're seeing here. We've got a non-alcoholic and we've got higher gravity
We're all
Marzens.
over there. Crazy stuff. So you said that right now in Germany for Oktoberfest, the Fest beer is still the dominantly preferred style.
As of all the most recent information, the Fest beer is king. In fact, things like Polliner's Oktoberfest Marzen, which we love over here, they don't really even pour that over there. I mean, it's available. They don't even call it Oktoberfest. It's like a Municher Marzen. It's
They're
available,
but
us
Americans, they put the names we want on them.
They know we like it. For whatever reason, we're still very much into Marzens. You can tell by the selection that's available here. It's mostly Marzens, but over there, it's at the festival. It's Fest beer for the most part. Yeah.
Fun fact: when Brian and I homebrewed on Oktoberfest, the name of it was mostly Marzen.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We need to take a break, and we'll be back with more Oktoberfest beer tasting. Dun, 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 dun. Good times.
This is educational.
It is, right? Fun stuff. Numero siete.
I'm gonna start using a dump bucket so I don't get too crazy over here.
That dump bucket's gonna be educational.
Hey, you want to break this? Want to break this wishbone with me for a palate cleanser?
Do we have to make a wish first?
We do. I wish I had more beer.
That's right.
Oh, we're all winners.
Hooray! All the finest chewing noises brought to you by Beer Guys Radio.
That's that ASMR.
That's right.
You know what? I haven't tried to make that comparison, but that's interesting. Just a little stouter Helles. Mentioned the
Owen Ogletree was the
Fine
one
and
that
Honor.
brought to mind or mentioned specifically like 3 or 4 years ago that the Fest beer maybe originally was inspired like, let's get a Helles beer, but let's amp it up for festival purposes.
All right.
So I think there's something to that. Most places you go online don't mention Helles is kind of the inspiration for that though. So I don't know if that was speculation on his part or if he misspoke or if that really is something to it, but I trust him. He seems to be the expert.
I've heard in the previous years that Helles was the standard long ago in the early days of Oktoberfest, but also as I understand, Helles is a German word for pale. And so what that word means. And so by making it more pale Fest beer, it is in some nature Helles.
And I think
it's strictly a Helles beer, Helles Lager.
In Germany, isn't Oktoberfest beer kind of a blanket statement for pretty much whatever the heck they serve there?
Yeah. Well, that's why you've noticed even in our list there's things called Oktoberfest beer that could either be a Marzen or it could be a Fest beer, either one. Anything served on the property during the festival is an Oktoberfest beer,
Is Nathan drinking as well? He's not.
I don't think so.
Does he drink?
He does.
Okay.
He's
Don't
probably
tell him not to do without, man.
He's probably trying to avoid, getting a little too mixed up into it before.
Nathan, are you partaking as you pour?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good. I was going to say, I hope he's not missing out over there.
He's like, what are you, crazy?
I know
All this beer over here? Of course I'm drinking some
Yeah.
of it. What was this? This is, what are we on?
That's number 7.
Thought you were trying to cheat for a second, saying, "What is this?"
Right.
I think this one's my favorite so far.
I dig it. Yeah, I think I like it. I had a lot of salt in my mouth from my pretzel stick. So Nate, I'm going to try it again and see where we're going from here. So see, yours in the glass looks lighter than mine in this little cup.
It does kind of. Yeah, that's a tough call.
Mine's copper. Mine's copper.
Mine
yours
looks
is more golden.
Yeah, mine looks Marzeny, but his looks borderline.
Yeah. I find some of these do seem to like walk the line between them. Like I had a few this week. Some of them get a little blurry between.
This one's tasty.
Maybe
Man,
it's
this
on
is
purpose.
good.
They're trying to do that hybrid like you like with your IPAs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the Wheat
This
Spice
one
or
may
Marzies,
be my
Oktoberfest.
favorite.
Muddy Marzen.
This one's got a little bit.
Fest.
I'm going to think it's hop character.
Yes.
Grassy.
Yes,
A little,
I was
little,
gonna
little
say.
grassy.
Yes,
This is
grassy. Yes.
I was thinking that this was Marzen at first, but it does say it's hoppier than the other Marzens, other than maybe the last one. You've got definitely some dank notes, some grassiness to it, but maybe it's a more caramelly fest beer, actually.
Yeah.
I dig that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
dig that.
think this is right now. It's the new star of the show, perhaps. I love that my rank looks a lot like a countdown.
You know, one thing that's tough with tasting like a bunch of Marzens or a bunch of fest beers, if they're done right, your tasting notes should be pretty close. I mean, so it's hard to differentiate because if they're hitting profile right, they're going to have these shared characters here.
I also feel I'm getting more critical as we go. The first beer, I'm happy to have a beer.
Right, man. You're like, I'm getting into this.
And the other thing is you've kind of seasoned your palate, so now your body's full on or your mouth's full on. Oh, we're drinking this kind of beer. Look for this kind of thing. So it'll be interesting. We should have enough beer at the end of this that some of the earlier ones you're like, I like this. Get a pour of it after the fact and see what you still think, because you may not like it as much or you may like it even more.
I am 100% sure that I know what this beer is.
100%.
I'm 100%. I'll bet Brian's life on it. I'll bet Brian's beard on it. I'll bet Brian's beard.
Honestly, because I know what this is. I'm sure that I'm not actually too worried about Tim's wager, but also nobody's touching my beard.
Yeah, no one touches the beard. Okay, we have a prediction here. Hofbrau makes it into the top 5 for most of us.
All right. Top 5. Well, I mean,
I will throw out an interesting note. Last year, our top 3 were all domestics.
They were. It was Sam Adams Fest beer,
Sam Adams
Ironmonger
is number 2,
and then Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
and that was again blind. So
it was.
Does ATL 6245 have a beard that we can bet?
Can we bet their beard on it?
I think he did. Did he have a beard? I'm trying to remember now. Been a while.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody
he was in
knows.
here, wasn't he?
If your predictions
That's
wrong,
his-
I don't know. I don't know.
Find you in
See,
your
I'm
beard.
really bad about remembering screen names in real
I
life
may be getting
names.
him confused with a different screen name, so I do look at a lot of stuff.
Like I
on
use
social
Reddit
media.
a lot, and I've sat and had conversations with people for an hour, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so and so." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
He's like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, it's like we talk all the time, man. Literally. So,
well,
sorry.
the guest for last week's show, you said, "Oh, are you on Reddit?" Like, yes, I am.
Gosh.
Obviously.
Yes. He just looked at me. I'm like, "That's a fair look. That's fair."
Steven.
You
There
gotta
you
grow
go.
one quick.
Okay, this is Let Us Drink Beer.
We
I
could
thought so.
Okay.
I thought so.
maybe you could bet a clean face instead of a beard.
or maybe
You'll be
we have
forced
No, you
to
did
go.
we have
because
to
he
glue
hasn't
on
been in
a-
here.
We'll put a fake
Hasn't,
beard on you.
hasn't he been?
No,
in?
we
Who do
chat
we
on
have?
Twitter all the time.
Who am I thinking then?
You don't know what
I don't know what I'm thinking.
You have no idea what's going on right now. Do you know what this beer is?
Oh yeah, number 8.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
This one seems different to me for sure. I'm getting like these
One of
grassy
these
notes.
beers is not like the others.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
citrusy, grassy notes.
There's a little
Almost like
lemon,
a
little
lemon.
little
lemon.
little
I was gonna
lemon.
say lemongrass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
little
say
lemon.
lemon and grass or lemongrass.
combine
Very
the two
fest
things you're
beer
saying.
looking there. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there it is. I was saying- I was-
Lemongrass is a really
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank
okay.
you. I'm an expert.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That's
I've
that's a
done
good,
this before.
That's a good one. I like number 8. I do like it.
It's good, but
I don't
me,
think it's
I don't
going to
know if
make
it-
my top.
I don't know if it tastes like
it's not
the
going to make my
other-
top.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable, but
Number
it's
Seems like a
9?
different category,
it's
doesn't it?
atypical. It's not traditional.
Yeah.
Depends on your judging scale. If you're aiming for
It's good,
tradition
though.
or if you're aiming just for personal
What's
enjoyment.
in your left glass? Your left glass.
8,
What's in your right glass?
9.
Okay, that looks like whiskey.
Whiskey?
Is that whiskey? No.
There's
Check real
no-
quick.
It does
There's
look like
no
whiskey.
head.
Oh wow.
Okay,
And if that's 9, there's not a lot of head in. Well, there's a little bit. Not
I
too
got a little on mine.
Yeah.
This is my 9. 9, which is the German word for 9. Wait,
That's right.
No.
Matthew, you got an admirer.
Another.
What's up, man?
She better admire me.
What's up?
We have big trouble if she doesn't.
Is that a significant other there?
That's the one.
Okay, there we go. That's nice of her to get in here and talk about you, though. I mean, even if that's your SO, it's nicer to come up here and talk about. She's like, "Damn, he hot.
New
He
beer
fine
garden
though.
fans.
He fine though."
She better not tell the world else.
Yes.
Keep that a secret.
Yeah. Don't let my secret out. I don't want to start losing customers.
Growler guy's taken.
Yes,
That's right.
We're trying not to ruin it. Well, I don't know. Like if it doesn't work out for him, he could always come on the show more often. So maybe we are trying to ruin your business.
So 9's tasty, I think. Tasty.
You think? I think.
Well, I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable when I said that. So
Indeed.
9 is tasty, I think. Would have been the better way to put that. It's good. To me, it tastes Marzeny with less sweetness. Marzen with a Fesbtier sweetness.
There's a nice balance there, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Matthew. Totally with you on that.
No.
one. Yes, no. Stop it.
I'm Steven.
Just call everybody by different names during this. Like, what?
Just keep going.
yeah, it's a
We should all
tone.
get German names for the
See,
the
that's
show.
a good idea.
A toned down
Hans.
Marzen. Yeah.
Hans.
I'm Hans and I am Franz.
I can't think of a ton of other.
Gustav, I think, would be one.
Yeah.
It's more crisp for like the Marzen.
It is, right? But it's got some of that malt in the back.
Yeah. I would
Okay.
say I would still guess that this is a Marzen and not a Fesbtier, but it's a more
Yes.
crisp Marzen.
Yeah. Marzen? Question mark?
I like that. Crisp Marzen.
It's a crispy boy.
Again, after seeing the ones that are in the clear glass, though, they're always a shade
The more
paler.
I drink number 9, the more I'm liking it.
9? 9? Okay. All right.
Yeah. Again, in the clear glass, it's always a shade paler.
All right. So
You got
that's
some
that's
shadow.
our third grouping, isn't it? That's
So sad. We're almost done.
I know it's going by fast, isn't it?
Yeah, we still
9 beers so far.
and we're doing well because I mean the dump bucket isn't or the dump
Yeah,
stein
not doing
isn't
too bad.
Yeah,
If the
it's
dump
not.
Kind of
bucket's
held back
full.
too, so
Yeah,
I'll be dumping in a second.
I had. You've got some over there you're holding on
Well,
to.
I wanted a
collecting.
little, I wanted to come back. To some
Just
of
in
the
case you
reminder.
need to revisit. Understandable.
I kind of wish I did.
Understandable. Oh, this is
No,
not a
you'll
bad
get a
idea.
chance to retaste it.
Oh, maybe I should start dumping. Do it.
The first one's not caramel, like almost a butterscotchy sweetness.
First one in this round.
Yeah, 7, like almost
Gotcha.
butterscotchy, grassy and butterscotchy. That's it.
I'm not going to call the
Yeah.
person's name out,
Butterscotch.
but I have someone I work with that has been messaging me about a problem, and I'm ignoring him right now.
Is
I'm
he
drinking my beer.
is he watching you currently while
I
sending
don't
you
think
messages?
so. I don't think so. He's one of his coworkers annoyed him today, and there's a little
Okay.
problem, and he's looking to me for some input.
Tell him
And,
to drink a Oktoberfest beer.
And and I'm not having
Chill
it
out.
right now. I'm going to drink my beers. I'm
Tell
going to
him
drink
to
my
do it,
beer.
too.
The problem will still be there, hopefully, or maybe not. Hopefully, no. I don't want it to still be there when I'm done. Right. I believe in you. You can work this out.
But also, has he realized that it is currently as of right now, it's like 8:00 in the evening.
Well, he started his message with, "I know you're doing your radio show," so.
and so and you continue after saying that. I know you're doing this, but
But So I'll leave it alone.
Okay.
I apologize for ignoring you, sir. I'll get with you later. Yeah.
By the way, he's a surgeon. His other job, so somebody's probably on the table.
That's it.
Talk
Yeah,
about
he
you.
is a surgeon.
There's
Like,
a lot of blood
there's-
here. Can you
there's
please
complication,
respond?
but beer
Yes.
comes
Can you
first.
tell me if
Yeah.
this is a spleen or if this is a tumor? I can't
Yeah,
tell
what
which
is
one
this?
it is.
Does this look infected to you?
Okay, so I was boy, this is tough. Ooh.
Now I gotta ask
like this
something
round.
here. Do you have more than one SO? Are you one of those polyamory fellas?
I know,
Jose could tell me what he wants to say, but no.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I like how many people are using Olivia's handle on YouTube, though.
Everybody's sharing an
Yeah,
account
it seems
there.
to be that
All
there's
right.
Confused.
one person at the bar.
That's
and everybody
fair.
at the bar is
Everybody's
making
logged in.
comments through Olivia.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's good stuff.
I mean, we wouldn't judge you if there was some polyamory going on. You do
Makes
your-
for a
I
better
went-
show.
I went into a vape shop the other day, and this is definitely extra content for in between segments here for me sharing this part. But I went into a vape shop, and as I walk in, there's a glass case off to the side, and it's filled with what were called urine fetish kits.
Oh yeah, so I could tell you.
I didn't
about
know
this.
you need a whole kit.
Yeah, and I asked the guy behind the counter, I was like, "What is a urine fetish kit?" He's like, "It's just what it says it is." And I go, "That's super weird," and I made him mad.
It's not.
And he
So-
said, because he's like, "Hey, people have." I'm like, "You know what? You're right. If you're not hurting anybody else, who am I to judge what you
So,
do?"
there's-
Matthew, please. I want to say this in whole words before you start. Please tell us about the urine fetish kit.
Those are occasionally sold to people with,
A urine fetish?
but they are more commonly sold to people who need to pass a drug test.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
What do you
There's the
do with
connection.
those?
You
It's fake
take a
pee.
drug, it's fake urine. And so they have these sorts
Oh.
of
That's
proteins
how
and
they get away with
metabolites.
it.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And so the fact you saw that at a smoke shop is
Okay.
coincidental with people who need to pass drug tests and can't.
That? How
Oh.
about that?
I
Okay.
so
The
not
other
having ever
people-
seen one, I didn't know that, but I've heard about the whole fake urine thing people do
I got you.
to pass drug tests
So,
and
so
whatnot.
some people
so.
do it for that. The other people use it as like a Capri Sun for their.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
It's great tasting fun when you punch open one. I got lemon. I got grape.
I got tomato juice.
Yeah.
Like what?
Oh man. Okay. You know
Hey,
what?
you could've
That's
had a V8.
That's
right.
Keep your diet straight.
that's very interesting. Because that totally makes sense. Because they wouldn't say
Yeah, they
drug
won't
test
say-
cheat kit.
They will not say drug test cheat kit at a store. Yeah.
That's fascinating. That is fascinating.
This could be a whole
I
different
bet
show.
there is.
could be
Elon
a
Muff.
whole
I want to
different
give a
show.
shout
I
out to
bet-
that handle, Elon Muff.
Shout
Thank
out
you.
to
Thank
Elon
you.
Muff from YouTube.
Wait, but it's also Harambe on the cross.
Is it?
Oh. Man, this show is on fire.
Yeah. Wow. It takes out for
Yes,
Harambe.
there we go.
Takes out.
You are right. You're right. We're just falling
is
off the rails
fantastic.
here. Falling off the rails. So back to Oktoberfest beers. What if you got a fest beer fetish? What if I use that in a
do.
drug test?
Then go
Honestly,
to the beer
depends on whose
growler.
test you're taking. I've
Then go
heard
to
of
the beer
certain
growler.
individuals passing government order drug tests with lemonade. So fest beer could be a good
Okay.
substitute. You know, if you got
Okay.
a nice pale colored one,
Yeah.
as long as there's not too much head,
Uh huh.
you know, that might go through
That's
the
it.
legs.
Yes. There you go.
Thank you.
If your drug test is foaming out of the sample cup,
Yeah,
they're like, we're gonna have to, take this.
they're probably
I would
gonna-
like to apologize to everyone watching now. This is not the way I normally handle myself. It's definitely the way Brian does.
That's right.
All right.
Don't judge me. Giggity.
Right. Let's do this, Nate. Let's do it.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Your revolution is over, Mr. Lebowski. Condolences. The bomb's lost.
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. I'm going to give a quick shout out to one of our great radio affiliates, KGUM News Talk K57 570 AM in Agana, Guam. Catch Beer Guys Radio on KGUM every Saturday at 10 p.m. local time. I can hear that. I've heard that you can sometimes hear us on the Weather Channel there. Tonight's forecast is malty with only a mild chance of hops for those listening on the Weather Channel. Now let's get back to the Oktoberfest show.
That is good stuff, Brian. Absolutely. Brian, for bonus points, what time zone is Guam in?
It's Guam time zone.
Tomorrow standard.
Tomorrow standard.
Tomorrow
That's
standard
I've forgotten that.
Thanks for listening, Guam. We appreciate it. So we actually got an email one time from someone staying at a hotel, and they're like, did you guys know you're on the Weather Channel in Guam? And I guess they were playing the local radio station over the background of the weather in the hotel room. But that was fun. That was cool. It's cool to be there and know someone heard us.
That's right. In a hotel watching TV,
and heard us, knew us, and was like, hey, check this out. So thanks for listening. And Guam, thanks for having us on the air there. So we have tasted our third round of 3 beers, beers 7, 8, and 9. So Matthew, we're going to start with you, man. Give us your thoughts on round 3.
We had some interesting ones in this round. There are a few that were pretty far from tradition. Namely, number 8 was, as we discussed, that lemongrass earlier, that citrusy kick, which I don't ever expect to find in a traditional German beer of any sort.
Right.
Particularly the Marzens or even the Fesbier. It was pale, so I'd assume a Fesbier. But yeah, that lemony, citrusy notes was.
Did you enjoy the beer?
Independently, yeah.
If you pulled it out,
if I just pulled it out, I could drink that beer. That'd be a good lawnmower beer. But if I were to judge it on what it's aiming to be, it would score lower if I was to judge it for tradition.
Feel you. Okay, I got that. Absolutely. Steven, what are your thoughts there?
I agree with what you said on that. I think all 3 of those beers were good beers. Certainly a good round. Number 7, yeah, easy drinking, nice malt, caramel, very smooth. That was probably my favorite out of those 3.
Tasty. Yeah. Brian, you want to know what I think?
Sure, why not?
You thought I was going to ask you what you thought.
I thought so, but go ahead and tell me what you think, Tim.
Okay, 7, 8, 9. Number 7, Steven, I'm with you. That was my favorite out of that round. That's a contender for me. That one's in the running for me. Number 8, I'm confident I know what beer that is. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Matthew, I'm with you. I don't think I judge it well for the style, but I enjoyed the beer. I would say that. I also got that lemony citrus bite to it there. Lighter beer. That malty character wasn't there coming out. Pretty sure I know what that beer is. We'll talk about that later. Number 9, I liked it. You know what? I felt it was a Marzen with kind of the profile of a Fest beer, if that makes any sense. Kind of a hybrid.
I wrote between her in my notes.
Yeah. So that's it. Brian, how about you?
So number 7, when I had that, my first comment was to myself here, this is probably my favorite. It's like grassy and butterscotchy. It was rich. It was great. And it looks kind of borderline to a Fest beer, but it was great. Definitely know what number 8 is. I'm 100% sure of that. Until I had number 9. Number 7 was my number 1. Number 9, that crisp Marzen thing going on there, that this toned down sweetness, but the breadiness, man, I love that. I thought it was weird because 9 and 7 couldn't be more different, and it was kind of tough to decide which one, but I think 9 takes it for me over 7, and 7 would be my second favorite overall so far too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good stuff. Brian, how about you tell us a little bit about Oktoberfest? What in the world is this celebration about?
All righty. So let's see here. Let me go through my notes and find that for me. Let's see. I'll tell you what. Let me tell you about the various fun facts. Yeah, that sounds good. So it didn't start as a beer festival. Anybody know how it started or why it started? Anybody? So I see a hand raised over there.
As I understand, the original was a wedding ceremony.
That is correct. A wedding ceremony in 1810 for Bavarian Crown Prince Ludwig. So counting this year, which this year's hasn't actually transpired as of us recording
this. But it's planned.
It is happening. There will be 187 Oktoberfest in Munich. Oktoberfest was, of course, canceled in both 2020 and 2021 because of the pandemic. These are my unfun facts about it. Prior to 2020, the last time Oktoberfest was canceled was back in 1949. So this is very unprecedented what we just went through here. So Oktoberfest this year begins on September 17th and lasts until October 3rd. The price of a liter of beer, anybody want to take a guess at how much you figure a liter of beer will go for?
Well, I don't know, with inflation.
€2.
Yeah, more than that.
I like the way you think.
It's gonna be like
What could help?
pounds.
8. So yeah, it would be in euro, and that might be right. I don't know what the
Euros. I
conversion
don't
is
know.
from
Look at that
pounds,
British.
but
I still have that British influence.
So a liter of beer, what's our conversion here? Is
liter.
that how much is
I
in a
was thinking
liter?
of the half liter. Yeah,
is that
the
like
whole liter.
closer to 32 ounces? No,
A liter is 33.15.
33.15.
So you got
I
2
believe.
pints there.
2 pints.
So what's an average pint here? 6, 7,
16.
8
Yeah.
bucks.
yeah.
What's a pint at the what's your average pint price?
I'd say the average is $6 or $7.
I'm gonna go with $13 a liter.
All right. Well, you're really close. Right now, it is right around the averages. It's in the 13s, but 13 and a half
Okay.
is
All right.
euros, which
In euros.
and it I did the translation online that the dollar and the euro are almost
I was gonna
exactly the
say,
same. So
today,
it's
that's
about
easy
the
to
same
do.
thing.
Okay.
So
Inflation.
that's up from 11 and a half euros back in 2019, the last time it went on. So it's gone up a full 2 euros since then. So inflation, it's a thing. So only 6 breweries are allowed to produce beer for Munich's Oktoberfest: Augustiner, Hackershore, Löwenbräu, Polliner, Spaden, and Hofbrauhaus. Officially and legally, any beer served in Munich Oktoberfest can be called an Oktoberfest beer, regardless of style. So if it's a hef, you still call it an Oktoberfest beer. But then only beers made in the city limits of Munich are actually served. There is a beer police squad that monitors pours to ensure that you are not deprived of your full liter of beer. So the Germans are all about precision with their pours. Anybody want to guess how long it takes to pour a liter of beer at the Oktoberfest?
German
Efficiency
traditionally,
there.
efficient.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sure, they've got it down. They got the police monitoring it.
That's
I'd
right.
say, I'm going to say 15.7 seconds.
What do you think, Matthew? What's your guess?
I pour a lot of liters on a daily basis, but there's some variance. So, like, if you have higher pressure, it comes out faster, but you have more foam. And I don't know if they want to minimize the loss from foam, being that they're serving thousands of them. So they may turn the pressure down.
Good point. Good point.
So for a liter, how many? 11 seconds.
I'm going to go
Okay, go ahead, Tim.
with $1, Bob.
$1.
No, I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to buck both these guys. I'm thinking it takes 47 seconds to pour a liter of beer.
You're closer than they are. It takes
Okay.
about 1.5 seconds for the pros at
Wait,
the festival.
1.5 seconds?
That's what I'm reading.
I'm not closer than
You're
they
not
are.
closer
then.
than me.
Wait, how long
I
did
said
you say?
11
He was
seconds.
going for almost a full
You said
minute.
47
I
seconds.
said 47.
For some
Yeah.
reason, I thought you like four sevenths
Wow,
of a second.
that's
Yeah.
impressive that they're
Yeah.
cranking that out that
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You see them. They're
know what?
running those around
I
like
think
constantly.
the
It's
time I was in
amazing.
Europe and they were pouring them out and they had to do
The knife.
the little knife on the top to get the right,
Just
take
Yeah.
the
Good to go,
extra
huh?
head off and pass it out. Yeah,
As
I
you
guess that makes
should. You
sense.
shouldn't be afraid of losing a little head. Give them a good beer.
I
But
want to see. I'm going to have to get on YouTube there because I want to see him. I want to see him pouring these.
That I believe I pulled right off of the official Oktoberfest website. So
That's
it could be
fancy.
propaganda. It could be false
German
advertising. I don't know.
propaganda.
I have not
The
verified.
Germans have never used
Germany does
propaganda
not.
before.
No, that's not That
right.
doesn't sound right.
Where do you think is the largest Oktoberfest outside of Germany?
Cleveland,
Cleveland? No. Anybody else?
Cincinnati.
Helen, Georgia, let's go.
It's not
Correct.
Helen, Georgia.
Probably in the
So-
U.S. Midwest because of the German heritage.
So Cincinnati is close. I think that's the largest in the U.S.
Pennsylvania.
The largest in the world is actually a tie right now. It used to just be Kitchener, Ontario, but Brazil has come up in rank, and they're
Interesting.
almost
There's some
tied.
Germans out there.
Where? Is
Yeah.
it Sao Paulo
It's-
or where?
Blumenau. I don't know if that's a
Oh.
location. Do you know?
Interesting.
I-
No,
There is a big
never
beer
heard of
fest
it, but
there.
It sounds
The
like
Blue-
it has German heritage just by the name.
Yeah.
Next year, broadcasting live from
That's right.
That's
Ruminant.
Until I'd seen that they were
Brazil.
tied, I had never even heard of the place. Both of those festivals get about 1 million people showing up for that. So
That's crazy.
yeah, not quite as many as the Oktoberfest, but that's a huge turnout considering Brazil. Like that's not perhaps a place I would have thought of for Oktoberfest. So
I would never, but that's interesting. It's all around. And in America, we're not concerned with that October 3rd end date. We're going through the end of the month. No one can
Indeed.
stop us.
correct.
That's-
You are listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We need to get us another break, but we will be back very soon with more Oktoberfest beer tasting.
I organized my notes even better, and I still keep getting lost. There's just too many of them. I need like
10,
flashcards.
You're doing a great job. I'm
Boom.
learning a lot.
Good time for actual break.
There's
Alrighty.
so much.
Yep, for sure, man. Absolutely.
All right, let's.
We do get bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
Why not?
Hey,
We can't stop you.
Yeah. Did we eat all the pretzel sticks? Nate, is there any more over there? Did we consume them all? We went through.
They were good.
They were good little pretzel sticks, weren't they?
Oh, we're on
Yeah.
10 now. How about that?
Interesting on the pours, but Germans in a lot of their bottles, 11.2. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
1.5 seconds, Brian, for a liter. That's just,
That's what they said.
that's like,
Yeah.
that's like dropping it out of a pitcher.
I should. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's now that you mention it, I was typing it up last night. It was a little late and I should have gone to YouTube to get a video of it. Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
I got to see this actually happen. I can believe it though, because the way they're moving beer there, they got to.
They got to get, well, see, I thought maybe it was a little slower, but they had a lot because they've got the beer maidens, they're always toting them out. So I thought maybe they just had volume rather than speed.
It could be that
Or both.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's possible. I think you get a good froth of head on the top of most of those steins. So I'm thinking the pressure it's coming out.
It's really,
It
trailing
may be
out
just
there.
kicking. It may just like
Maybe so.
blasting out, and you get whatever head you get.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, so we're on number 10. 10. I've only had a good guess or a guess as to 2 of the beers so far as to what they are. I've guessed regions on a few of them, but
So I've got to get at least one more in this last round to be a contender because I only have 2 right now that I would put as a favorite.
I've been just ranking mine, and I'm going to
Yeah,
go
I don't-
revisit. I have
have
an
to do
ongoing
that.
rank, and I'm going to revisit the probably top 4 to make sure that the ones that are actually showing as top 4 really deserve
Mhm.
the order that they've got. Okay, this is interesting. All right.
So as discussed early in the show, maybe even pre-show, I'm a Marzen guy. I'm beginning to think that I don't want to use the word anti-fest beer.
Anti-fest beer.
I don't want to go that far with it yet. But I'm not sure. And that can't be true because I think I picked the Sammy Adams's last year.
You did, yeah. The fest beer,
Yeah. So I can say this year so far, I'm pretty sure the ones I'm digging are the Marzen styles, Nate.
I think I might be leaning Marzen a little. Well, I don't know. I'll wait and see. I don't know how mine broke out. I haven't really been separating the two. I've been focusing more on the flavor.
Nathan, what's your last name?
Donner.
Connor?
Donner.
Donner.
Like Donner Pass?
Or the
Oh, like Jeffrey. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
everywhere he goes, it's a Donner party.
The Donner Party. He bust in. Hey,
Everyone's
the
like,
Donner
oh.
Party's here. Everyone screams and runs. Yes.
Hey, but Blitzing gets excited.
Yes, exactly. Hey. He's doing the.
I'm surprising myself in that just personal taste. I feel like I've been enjoying the fest beer more.
Okay. Get out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will eventually.
You are
Okay, one day.
disinvited.
At some point in the next
You
like
know what?
hour,
That's a
hour and a
good-
half,
that-
I'll get out of here.
That's a good response. I will eventually.
Kick him out
Yeah.
after we're done
Right.
recording, because that'll make the end of the show very weird.
What's that? Right. So last time Steven's coming on this show. It was a good time.
No, not you, Steven. The other Steven. Oh, that was mine. I was like, oh, there go your show notes. Haha. Oh, wait, damn it. That's mine. I'm curious, what do you taste in number 10?
Half foam, half beer. Just fire them out there, huh?
Yeah, that
All
that
right.
makes sense. Like a second and a
That's right,
half.
Get that butter knife.
I think I read
That's
that
it.
right. Did I say a second? Let me double check my notes and make absolutely sure that I wasn't smoking something when I drinking that very dank
number
beer.
6.
Yeah, the number 6 while I was reading that. I believe. Yeah, my notes. I organized them and I still am getting lost in them.
Let me see your 11. Okay. Again, mine would have looked. It's dark, but mine looks even darker there.
It's Fest beer, and then so Fest, and then
Yeah, that's 10. That's 11.
yeah, that's a Marzen.
I feel like such a broken caramel toast.
Yeah, I know,
Toasty
right?
caramel.
It's funny that you think that of drinking 11 Fest beer in a row.
Right.
Or
Yeah,
Oktoberfest
right.
beer. Yeah.
I just want a piece of toast covered in caramel at this point.
Sounds kind of good, right?
It does right
They
now.
might replace
It
the
paired
pretzel.
great with this beer.
Yeah, that's so. I'm confirming experienced waiters need an average of 1.5 seconds to pour those beers.
It's pretty wild.
Madness.
I know
pretty
it's
wild.
hard to
Madness.
believe.
Yeah. I'm guessing you have the pressure super high and then just scrape off the foam and don't mind the waste.
It's like apparently just like half foam.
Man,
I think
this
I hope
is-
they
this is
scream
up
"Oh
there for
Zaptis"
me.
every time they pour one. Just like "Oh Zaptis."
I hope they just scream. Just like General Terror.
It just stays open.
Just-
This guy just keeps screaming. Oh, that's fantastic.
I
That's
get a drink from the hose.
Y'all know if
is this Halloween or Oktoberfest?
Man,
Why not
This may be my favorite so far. I really like this one a
both?
lot.
I gotta get 11.
And
all
it's
right.
not that sweet, but there's a lot of malt character, grain, toasty grain there. I dig this one. This one's up there for me. Number 11. And the final beer of the evening.
Yeah, that's got more of a
Mm.
that's got
Okay.
more of a grain flavor to it than I think any of the other beers have had. Like that's not just malt. That's grain.
Wow, that's good. That's good. I dig it.
Number 11 for you.
Number 11's up there, man. I'm gonna have to revisit
it.
a few, but number 11's nice.
What'd you think of 10? Did you what were your notes on that? Was it just
Meh.
meh?
Yeah.
Did you get any kind of a mineral finish on it? Because I thought you might have picked up on that. I know you're a
Not
big
that-
mineral guy.
I just got that
Mine
it
on
was
the
it was
11.
kind of soft.
Okay.
Just a little too soft for me there.
I might get more minerality from this number 11. I'm just taking my first sip. But
Yeah.
Has anybody found the athletic one?
we
That's
think
not
we
important.
have.
I have a feeling like I might have.
There's a certain beer that stood out.
Hmm.
It might have been Athletics. But
Hell, number 10 is almost banana like.
Sir Nathan, might I have another pour of 4 and 7?
Is this how this works at the end there?
Yeah, you can go back and revisit.
Oh, I guess we kind of need to because we have to
This is it.
decide.
It's
yeah,
time.
yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah.
time.
We're gonna give them a whole formal ranking.
yeah, nominate.
You know what?
individually or
we
what?
we just kind of we generally toss out our top 3.
Okay.
I
So,
think we could.
We did top
Consolidate,
5, and then we
yeah.
consolidate into our top 5 there.
And then
Yes.
you added the points.
Yep, exactly. So once you guys taste all 12 and you're ready, get your top 5 together in order, please.
Okay.
And
Did we
yeah,
do
as we're
5 or
going-
3? We did 3.
I think it's
I think it's
Yeah, your
generally been
top 3.
3.
Just your
yeah,
top
it's
3.
5 is hard to manage, you know.
4. And 11, please, sir, because I drank all that one already. I like 12 too, but I don't think it's going to be all right. That's it, folks. We're home stretching this one.
Ooh,
We're getting so close.
I actually think we're
So
finishing strong
close
here.
to having an actual verdict.
Yeah, let me get a little behind the scenes video since we're here. I should do a little live on Instagram behind the
Oh.
scenes. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Don't you think
We're
so?
not currently live on
Are we
that.
stream?
This is when
we're
we start
streaming
cursing.
while
We're
we're
gonna stream the stream.
We're streaming while we're streaming.
Streaming the streams.
section?
Mind if I film you while you do?
No,
Yeah.
that's, I think we need to at this
I'm just
point.
gonna stand and get a picture of
I'm not
everybody
going to, I
doing
just
it.
wanted to know
So.
if you care.
Everybody, yeah, I don't want to. I just want to know if you. Fine.
I wonder if I'm developing palate fatigue here.
Can I get a 1, 5, and
Honestly,
7?
I think 12 stands out to me.
A 1,
I
5.
like
1, 5,
12.
7.
12 does, huh? Okay.
All right, I'll give that one another shot.
What is up, Instagram? We are in the studio here, Beer Guys Radio. It is our annual Oktoberfest blind beer tasting. Let me see if I can flip this camera around here and share. It's trying. There we go. We got a no mic Nate. Nate, how you doing, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
Have you enjoyed the tastings? You've been quiet because you don't have a mic, but
that tends to happen.
we've tasted. Brian, how many beers have we tasted today?
We are on our 12th beer. So
We
a
gotta
dozen.
fix that curtain behind you because it looks hoopty.
Yeah, it was supposed to help with the sound. I don't think it does anything at all except look really bad.
Right.
Yeah.
If you move that
Also,
rail in.
clear up the blood stains behind it where we murdered that guy. We'll do that too.
Helping with the sound and also
hiding the murder,
hiding the blood.
Yeah. That's good for that.
But tell folks what we're doing. What the heck are we up to right now?
We are drinking through 12 different Oktoberfest beers blind tasting them. We are ranking them. We're writing down our thoughts, and we are in the process of coming up with a final verdict on them. I have not come to my verdict yet, so I'm still thinking about the last 3 that I've got in front of me, but we're very close. And we're streaming this while we're streaming. So this is live stream.
We're live out here. We're streaming the stream. We have Steven from Ironmonger with us, is helping us out.
We're going to win.
Matthew
We're going to win.
From the Beer Growler.
The other Steven?
There, and Steven, you guys did win one of the spots last year. Ironmonger's beer took second in our competition last year, so I'm curious to see what we get in this one. But this is a fun show, man. We have a good time with it. Let me get this camera flipped again. We taste 12 Oktoberfest beers, Fesbtiers and Marzens styles, Brian.
Indeed.
We eat soft pretzels.
We did, yes.
We have bratwurst.
We forgot the sauerkraut. We've got sauerkraut in the fridge. You
forgot it. I didn't.
Did you get any?
Wanted the sausage.
Oh, okay.
No, I just wanted the sausage. So I was good.
Okay.
I was good. But this show, if you missed this, we taste all of the beers. We announced early in the show which beers we're tasting. Then we taste them all. And then at the end of the show, we talk about the rankings for the different ones. So you got to stay for the whole game. You got to be there for the whole thing to find out what's going on. Beer Guys Radio show is going to drop out this weekend. Southeast Alabama, bring on the pretzels. Absolutely. I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that statement at all. They're good. If you've got a QT in your area, they've got good pretzels. And so does Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen of all places.
Found out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a lot of fun, y'all. So if you missed the live stream, make sure to check out the show this weekend. Cheers. Happy Oktoberfest.
That's never been done before. Streaming within a stream. I don't think it's ever happened.
And now it's
what is even going on, man?
Yeah.
Streamception.
Who's got a TikTok dance? Beer tasting
like
chicken dance.
That's like the TikTok dance before TikTok.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That and the Macarena.
Yeah. Oh, the Macarena.
Those
wow.
Viral moves.
Macarena.
Yes.
Wasn't there? So there was another one. It seemed like every couple of years there was another one that had interesting dance routines with it. The ketchup song.
IG.
It's Sclooby McDooby. If you want to do my person,
All right.
But do it.
Everybody follow him.
TVG
It's
Brookhaven.
Sclooby McDooby.
Do TVG Brookhaven, actually.
What's that?
There we are.
Right there?
That's us.
Is it Elon Muff? Are you sure it's not that? Because that's a great account.
I do know Elon Muff, and that's probably the funniest joke you came up with.
So, Sclooby McDooby, was it easy for you to
Yeah, if you can
to
Steven and Sclooby.
identify? Was it easy for you to identify that weedy beer there, Mr. McDooby?
You got that all wrong.
I got it wrong.
Shots fired.
No, I had no comment.
Got Ironmonger tag there. It's all right. We got all the tags going on. Bow. Boom.
Bang.
7 and 5.
4, 7, and 11 are my contenders.
9, 7, 5.
Yeah.
I think I also want 9, 7, and 5.
Can you give me 250624?
Yes.
8, 6,
Man, that
7.
looks good.
I don't know why this.
3 and 9.
Could I get another port of 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, and 9?
Yeah. 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 9.
Nathan just starts throwing stuff at us. Jesus Christ, you guys.
Full bottles.
I knew better than to let you drink
God.
12 beers.
We need one of those German pouring police hitting
We
here.
do, yes.
Keep us in line.
Yeah. We don't know how well he's pouring over there. We don't have any kind of authorities over there monitoring.
Man,
this.
that's good. That's good right there, man.
This is tough because while the ones from this last batch are good, I don't know that they necessarily top the ones that I've had previously. So,
Well, you're getting older. Your palate's probably failing you.
that's true. Yeah, it's geriatric palate.
Wow.
It's got I need a
All right.
walker for my tongue.
My decisions have been made.
I feel like I'm behind. I gotta catch up. I've got to catch up.
There's a dance for that.
What's that? The ketchup dance? I was saying that was the one that was that was the next thing after the Macarena, right? Like, did they have a dance too, or I thought I can't tell. The video was amusingly bad.
All right.
I don't remember if there was a dance to it, but
The cuvées looking good.
Someone has to drink that.
oh well, yeah,
We all
you.
That's
mean,
what you're here for.
This
All
sounds
right.
very pre-COVID.
We did it. Yeah, right.
And
Are you sure
Pre
about
what?
that, man?
What?
All right.
Which one
and
is
like
this? This is 5.
something maybe
Frat
you do as
boy,
a
little
teenager.
frat
Yeah.
boy stuff going
put
on
them
here.
down.
7.
You toss that in the bucket.
The bucket, the Dumpy Dumpersons.
And this must be 9. The Nueve.
Reminds me of drinking game, also of German name, Sink the Bismarck.
I
Oh.
know that. So
You,
did
like,
you
have a-
rank?
You have like a cup
I'm
in
working
the
on it.
middle
Okay.
of this beer, this group
All right.
beer, and you
Interesting.
pour the beer into this little cup in the middle, and when it sinks, then the loser has to drink all the collective.
That's a German drinking game.
Yeah, the
So
collective
the
spittle.
folks over at BrewDog
They
took
made
a,
the beer.
opportunity
Yeah.
to break the record for the most alcoholic
Oh,
beer ever
excuse me,
made,
sir.
and then they broke their own record. And when they did it the second time, they named it "Sink the Bismarck."
Well,
I've
So I
had
guess that's the
tactical
origin.
nuclear penguin.
Have you?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it
it's-
enjoyable at all?
Pretty wretched. It's pretty wretched.
It's awful.
No, awful. Like I mean, you can't
Picture-
even judge it by beer standards. You're drinking it's firewater almost, but
Picture-
barley-based
it really
firewater.
wasn't. It was like
Petroleum
if someone
product.
took a car tire, rubbed it in dirty ashtray, put that in a bowl or in a barrel of molasses, set that on fire, and served it in a butthole. That is pretty close to what it tastes.
up until the
Okay.
butthole
I
point, I was
assumed
You're
it
down.
on board. You're like, I was
I
on
assumed it would
board.
be terrible, but
It's like, is it a clean or a
It
dirty
was-
butthole?
it-
That's
like
it's
dirty,
very.
sweet burn.
I would
That's
just
kinda what it
assume they
tastes.
wouldn't be enjoyable, but I still want to try one. Especially
hard.
Sink the Bismarck was served inside of squirrels
Yes,
and
I did like
Stokes. Was it?
that. I think so.
Yeah, I forget the name
Like
of the
they're
small
holding their
squirrel.
head up, the bottle coming
Yeah,
out there.
it's an awesome koozie. And yeah, I'd take one of those.
Germans.
Germans.
I'm mostly German, turns out, according to the DNA test. Those
Irish and
DNA
Lithuanian.
tests always it's weird. They keep changing. It's like
Yeah, you have to do
Yeah.
multiple and you got different.
no, it's the
results.
same one. They occasionally I'm 1% this or the other.
Yeah, probably depends on what you were drinking that day.
Exactly.
You have a German beer in the
And
morning.
how many people they're testing? Honestly, if they're adding more people onto it, it's like, oh hey, we've got new DNA profiles from new parts of the world. So there's no joke to that. But what's going on? Oh yeah.
Don't go.
Thanks for joining us. You should stick around. You don't need to head out. Just stay here. Stay here.
It's just getting interesting.
It's good here.
And we're about
But thank
to-
you for watching.
And we're about to reveal the
Yeah, we're about
order
to.
of the blind taste.
Yeah, we're gonna reveal who's winning. Who is winning? So, man, the last 3. You guys got really excited about this, and I really did not. It's bizarre.
Yeah, makes me curious.
Overall, though, all very good.
Oh man,
Good beers in general. I think
Can I get another
I wouldn't-
small of 9?
I wouldn't turn them away.
unlike previous years, we didn't have one that was just outright bad. What's
Oh
that?
yeah, we did.
6.
Oh yeah, the dank one. Yeah, that was.
I don't know.
There were
That one ranked for me.
There was
Not
So-
top 3.
We've had worse than that one.
Yeah,
We have had worse. That one I think was technically drinkable, though it was not. I would have maybe dumped. I don't know. I probably would have. Yeah, I probably would have dumped that. So that's the one that probably was the.
Thank you.
That was probably the one I'd pass on, but I still think that we've had other of these tastings where it was so bad you take a sip and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
That was not an oh no. I'm like, oh, this is very weedy.
I've noticed you commenting
Right.
on like some errors from like traveling over from Europe. Like, is that a pretty common thing? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's that it depending on how it's transmitted here, who's just doing distribution and whatever. It's going to spend some time on a ship probably, and it may or not be exposed to a great deal of heat. If it's in bottles, maybe there's light involved. You would hope not. You'd hope they'd be in containers on the way over, but it's gonna be a lot of points of transit, and that's a lot of opportunities for light to hit it and get funky with whatever little bit of hops there are in the beer. So
It seemed though like even though if you could sense that, you weren't necessarily overly faulting the beer. You're just attributing that factor in the fact that we're getting something from.
And I
overseas.
kind of, in certain styles of beer, I actually like
Okay,
that. I
thank
like
you,
a
sir.
saison sometimes with a little light struck, a little green bottle funk, that sort of thing.
All right, guys, we ready to tally?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let me see. Oh, okay. All right.
The third one was a tie, but I chose one. Just kind of flipped a coin.
Yeah, I know you. Some of them get so close, you're just like, let's go for it. Brian, give me your. Oh, sorry, sir.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Because, give me your 3 numbers. That's all I want.
975.
In order.
That's order. First, second, and
All
third.
right.
975.
Give me your numbers.
795.
All right. Oh, seeing a theme here. Numbers.
157.
All right. Sir, numbers.
239.
All righty. Oh, man, you're throwing the mix in there, aren't you?
Look at that.
All right.
I think
let's
2 is my
see.
favorite. Oh,
We're tallying
You
it all
have
up.
The master list, sir. All right. Let's see. All
It should
right.
stay unlocked for like 4 minutes.
Okay. Cool.
starting to think 293.
Are you second guessing yourself over there?
The tallying is taking place. All the science and the math.
Yes.
So much math. I heard a number. I heard several of the numbers show up multiple times. I'm like, Nate's and mine are almost identical with a swap of the first and second spot, and 9 and 7 showed up in a couple of other people's. I didn't hear what Tim's were. So
7-11-4.
7-11-4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I believe. I
7
the
was
only one that chose 11.
yeah.
So I
You
was
were the
the
only
one
one that
that-
chose 11, but
Yeah.
7 was in multiples, including mine. Actually, 7's going to do well. What was 7? Grassy yeah.
Hold on. Just hold on.
Okay.
I didn't get this far in math, but I'm
Fine.
pretty sure there's some calculus going on over there.
There is, yes. 1, carry the naught.
He's juggling multiple variables. I mean, like 12 different variables. He's
Yeah.
giving them all a different letter, and
Just gotta-
he's crunching that.
we're like plus minus 0.5.
He's got a slide rule out over there.
We get the we could do this on an abacus.
We could, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just sliding the little balls over. That we need the whole back wall. We need Nate after he serves us to be sliding the balls over as they get counted,
Could make one out of
Vanna
haircuts.
White style.
Right?
Okay. Okay.
This
He is our Vanna White.
is so.
Basically, yeah. I mean, she's got nothing on us. Wheel of Fortune's got nothing on us right now.
That's for
Wheel of
sure.
Fortune.
It's a much more fun show.
All right. All right.
All right.
There so
We
let
got
me
it?
add- no, I got to add my numbers.
Okay.
I was just making my list there. So the way we do it is your first place gets 3 points, your second gets 2, and your third gets 1. So that's the way we tally this. So we've got a 2. We got
The counting is happening, folks.
1, 2, 3.
My God.
The hottest streaming
7
ever.
gets 2, and 5 gets 1. We got 7 with a 1, a 2, a 3. We got 11 with a 2 and a 4. Okay. A 4.
Oh, let's see.
with a 1.
Ah,
All right.
I see something that's
We got a 9. Okay. Oh. Ooh,
oh.
we got, all right.
There may be some really good news for
Brian,
people
you're
at this
gonna
table.
Make somebody happy here. So way to suck up, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yeah, doing my
Oh,
best.
interesting.
I'm
over your
I was-
shoulder right now.
I was
Can I
peeking.
change one of my numbers?
Yeah.
I'm over your shoulder right
No,
now.
you can't. You cannot.
That's not part of this.
And there's a
No.
certain beer that I immediately said third, and I took another sip,
Journalistic
and I was like-
integrity.
I was like, as I take another sip, it's like maybe the one I said third should be number 2. Actually. And I did. It's like I don't want to make it more complicated than it is. I'm not going to make a change. But as I keep sipping it, the one I said third, I would honestly put number 2, and
I think we got
that might be good news for you
And I
guys.
think it's a mix-up for us from previous years.
It's different than previous years.
We've got.
Should get on mic.
I think a German one is going to take our top spot, which I
Oh.
don't think is typical for us.
Yeah.
So,
That's kind of cool. I feel like we have more cred, like kissing
Yeah,
up to the Germans
yeah.
like that.
Can we translate this into
all
their?
right.
They speak English
All
too.
right.
They do. They probably speak better English than we do, honestly.
I certainly speak better English than I speak German.
Okay, I'm not going to call these out now because we want to reveal on the show, but fun results here, guys.
Fun results. As far as results go, these are fun. Not like the ones you got from your doctor the other day. These are fun.
Much better.
Yes, yes. You don't have to change anything about your lifestyle with these results. That other one, I mean, you really should change up. You should really reconsider
Wow.
things that you've been doing.
First thing my doctor said is
Yeah.
stop doing beer tastings.
Yes, that's right.
You shut your mouth, doctor.
Yeah.
You shut your mouth.
You don't
Here
know
go.
me, doctor.
We'll call it out
He's
in a
like, yeah, I
minute,
do.
but here's,
I've seen you for 12 years.
No, he
Very
said,
interesting.
he said,
There's
he
our
said
one
stop
through
doing
three.
beer tastings while I'm trying to examine you.
Why I'm
Very
There's that.
interesting.
There's
How
that.
about that? Oh, look at
There's
that. Look
that.
at there. Ooh,
It-
how about that?
I think fits common
Down the bottom?
perception, but not my own preconception.
All right.
Excellent.
Here we
For
go.
the radio show too, do you
What
have,
was another contender?
what's the
What would have
non-alcoholic
been-
one?
We had a tie.
Did we have a tie for
We had a
third?
tie.
Oh,
Yes.
Tie for third.
We did. All right.
It's getting even more intriguing. Just like those results you got from your doctor.
Um,
Sorry. I'm
more
sorry to
did
keep
I
going
know.
back to that.
Keep sampling.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sure it was fine.
okay.
It's not malignant, I'm sure. Anyway,
Folks, you ready for this?
All right.
We have results. We are. We're here. We've got results. We are about to get into it.
no hanging chads.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's a dated reference.
It is.
Was that 2000 election?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, dang. 20 years ago. All right.
Do I
I'm done.
need to say
I'm done.
I never knew, like, do I say bless you like 5 times in that
You know, I'm
scenario?
always told that people say I sneeze like a cat. That's what I've heard before. And it's just my dad's the opposite of the spectrum. It's like blowing a cannon. He just goes nutso, and I do a bunch of little sneezes.
Well, 5
Well,
bless yous to you.
Thank you.
I
appreciate it.
like the cannon method. I like
Just
take on the
brrr.
old guys. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
Be
when you
the
gotta
center
sneeze.
of attention, but not on
Just
radio.
tear it up, man.
I'd
Yeah,
be
exactly.
afraid I'd pull a muscle or like I don't know, a lot of gasket somewhere.
All right. So
Yeah,
I'm not
anyway.
going to make, for those watching, we'll get into this
Sneeze out
early
the
in
other
this
end.
segment. We'll go ahead
Yes.
and we'll have some general discussion about the whole lot of them, and then we'll go ahead and reveal. So here we go. It's time.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
What in tarnation?
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. If you enjoy the show, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/Beer Guys. Patrons get cool perks like Beer Guys swag and commercial-free episodes. Now let's get back to the conclusion of the Oktoberfest show tasting.
This is it, Brian. We
Yes.
have tasted 12 Oktoberfest style
We
beers.
have.
We've had Fesbtiers and Marzens in the mix.
Mhm.
And I'm going to recap the list. Nathan, could I please see your list again? Because I shorthanded this. And y'all, we want to give a shout out to Nathan Donner. He volunteered to pour for us today so we could blind taste these. He made us homemade Chex Mix,
He did.
which
yeah.
is if you've only had the bag Chex Mix, it's trash compared. to the
You're missing
homemade
out.
stuff.
You need to get the homemade stuff.
You do.
For sure.
You do. So here is the list in order. If you've been listening to the show and you've heard the tasting list, this is the order. The number 1 beer we tasted was Brooklyn Brewery's Marzen. Number 2 was Heinz Steffen Pfaffensteiner Fest beer.
Yes.
3 was Hacker Shore Marzen. 4 was Sam Adams Oktoberfest. 5 was Hofbrauhaus Fest beer. 6 was Spaten Oktoberfest. 7 was Eyinger Fest Marzen. 8, Brian, we talked a lot about this beer. What do you think number 8 was?
This was Athletics Oktoberfest.
It was Athletics Oktoberfest. And so we've drank a lot of Athletic, and there's definitely a profile there that you know from their beers. Again, this is the one I think we talked about, was a little light, a little lemongrassy. You're right. That's it. Matthew noted the NA beer there. Yeah. So look, NA beers, they're darn tasty. This was a good beer. I do think it missed the mark a little bit on style there. So
did you say number 4 was Sam Adams Oktoberfest?
It was.
Then in my notes I'd written that down, so I predicted
that was a Sammy.
That's the only prediction I had because I had that earlier.
Number 9 was Ironmonger's Oktoberfest. Number 10 was Sam Adams Fest beer. 11 was Yingling Oktoberfest, and 12 was the Paulaner Marzen. So that was the order we tasted him, and now the big reveal.
Oh yes,
the big reveal. Our favorites, our top 3. And the way we do this is we go around. We each give our top 3. Your first place one gives 3 points. Your second place gives 2 points. Your third gives 1 point. We take all the votes. Those votes come from me, Brian, Steven, Matt, Nate, and Nathan. So that's how many people we've got in the mix here. Judging. Nathan cheated a little bit because he was pouring, but he's an honest man. So his ratings were honest, not biased by the labels there. So we'll let him go in the mix here. But that's it. Before we do the big reveal of our top 3, Brian, anything to say about the lineup this year?
I thought it was a good lineup. We went interesting with it. We went, I think, a little heavier in terms of German beers over domestically available ones. I'm disappointed, and I don't know if we got to mention it. The Sierra Nevada was not present in this list, and I really wanted. It turns out there's a bit of a scandal brewing online. They replaced their Oktoberfest with their new seasonal, which is a juicy IPA. So Sam Adams went IPA, or Sierra Nevada went IPA instead of Oktoberfest. Though theoretically, you can order it online if you're in a state that is not in the Stone Age that will allow you as an adult to receive beer in the mail. So but it's not widely available, or you can go to a tap room. So,
and the news was originally reported they weren't going to have one at all.
Yeah.
So do you think Sierra Nevada could have fast tracked it after the backlash of them not having one? Would they have had time to lager that properly?
I think actually the speculation was that they knew that there was going to be a backlash because I think it was their Summerfest ale that they canceled that a lot of people went all up in arms about, and that became like limited availability of that in tap rooms and whatnot. I think they anticipated there were a lot of fans of this that would be irritated, so I think they made a smaller batch so it would be out there and available, and they could say, "See, we have this." So I think that they were ready for it, but I'm guessing they were trying to gauge the reaction to it by not announcing that had been replaced before putting it out there that it was still available.
I do not understand why they did that.
I don't either.
Because so many people, that's one that so many people look forward to every year that I don't see why they went that way with it. Oh, well.
I really don't.
I'm sure they have all their market research and everything to back up what they did there.
Yes, but back to these beers, I think that overall they were all really good, generally speaking, and I think we had fewer. I think even the lowest of the beers that we got, the ones I liked the least, were still more drinkable than some years we've had where they were very undrinkable. So I think everybody made a good showing this year. So I think that was positive. I liked this show.
Good. Yeah.
I think we had a great representation of Oktoberfest beers.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, absolutely. Steven, what are your thoughts overall on this grouping of 12?
Man, that was a good education. It's not my first time drinking some Oktoberfest beers, but paired all together, you really got a sense of different styles, and certain brewers certainly trying to maybe do something hybrid or do something a little different, which I welcome. But it's great to taste something international and domestic, and good time overall for sure. Good beers.
Yeah, fun stuff. Which was the one? I'm looking for my notes. Number 9. I think that's yours. That's the Ironmonger. That's the one I noted that was a little crispier, but had the character of a Marzen, which I thought it was interesting. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think a good shout out needs to go to Jonathan, our head brewer. He's been in the industry for a long time, and I'd say he's more of a traditionalist when it comes to beers. But when you think of tradition, we go back to Europe, right? So clearly, that was one of my favorites, and it's certainly going to be available here soon. Another little plug.
Keep your eye out if you're in the area.
That one
Come to
grows on
Atlanta.
you. It initially, I'm like, okay, this is fine, and then as I was drinking it in my notes, I'm like, I like this more with every drink. So
Agreed.
again, blind, not trying to kiss up. It really was a good beer.
That was your number one.
It was
that
my
was
number
your
one.
number one,
Yes,
Brian.
yes.
And that's Nate. That was your number two. Matt, that took your number three.
And I unbiasedly admit that I said 3 real quickly. And then as I was finishing my samples, I was like, shit, I like 3 better than I like 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is really good stuff.
You said you finally decided you like 3 a little better than 2?
Yeah.
In there?
I kind of reversed my decision after I announced it.
Okay.
I was continuing to finish my samples. The Ironmonger really finished clean. It's like you get the hint of butterscotch, but like the touch of the grassy finish with it. It was good stuff.
It's not easy to judge 12 beers that are close to each other. Like looking for those little idiosyncrasies or difference there.
It very much is like the beer competition, like we were talking about in last week's show, where you're sitting there at a desk or at a table where you have to judge an entire style. They're all very similar. In this case, we're getting all the finest that the pros are putting together, so we're not getting the ones that have clearly gone sour and gone sideways. So that's the nice part about this. But the problem with them all being good is so hard to distinguish between so many good beers.
It is. So Matthew and I, we kind of bucked the system with ours because I think everybody else was like 9175 were in the mix of their top 3. Me was 7, 11, and 4, which was 7 was Iyengar, 11 was Yingling, and 4 was the Sam Adams Oktoberfest. And I haven't announced our overall top 3 yet, have I?
No.
I guess I need to do that.
You
All right,
should do
folks,
that.
the big drum roll, adding up our totals again. Each person's individual number 1 got 3 points. Their number 2 got 2 points. Their number 3 got 1 point. Adding those up in our very top spot is Iyengar. So it took our number 1 spot, which, Brian, I think is new for us.
Yeah.
In the years we've been doing this, that typically a lot of the domestics win for us. But this one, we do have a German beer.
That's
there
cool.
in the top spot.
I like that. And I'm wondering, did we have Iyengar last year? I don't recall.
I'm sure we did. I
Okay.
think it's
I'm
been
getting
in
head
every
shakes
mix.
around
Yeah.
here. So we did. Yeah.
In the number 2 spot, Ironmonger Brewing.
Hey.
Cheers. Can we get the applause over there? Nathan, you got the applause. So Ironmonger again, they took number 2 last year.
Yes.
So consistent from year to year.
Yeah.
Number 2. Again, if you watch the live stream, very blind tasted here.
That's right.
That you saw Nathan bring his cups. No favoritism, no preference here. But you can send us that check. You can just drop it off.
Yeah, that's right.
Just drop it off.
If you've got cash, say in a
we'll take
suitcase, you could just lay it on the table.
How about some more Oktoberfest beer?
Or
I
that.
think I can do
that'll
that.
be good.
That'll work for us, man. And in number 3, we had a tie. We had the Hofbrauhaus and the I honestly don't know how to say this. The
Weihenstephaner?
Weihenstephaner. Can you say it for me there?
I believe it's Weihenstephaner.
Okay,
Or
that one.
Weihenstephan, yeah.
So Hofbrauhaus and that one.
A lot
tied
of
for our number 3 spot.
A lot of legit German breweries.
Yeah.
I feel like we're becoming more cultured, Tim.
Because last year for us was Sam Adams in the 1st and 3rd spot with Ironmonger. It was a Sam Adams sandwich. Or would that be an Ironmonger sandwich?
I think it would be an Ironmonger sandwich with Sam Adams
Sam
on
Adams
the other
bread.
side. Yeah, it was kind of hot, really, when you think about it.
It was good.
What's a sandwich isn't anything without the stuff in the middle.
The fill,
right?
otherwise you just got you got a wish sandwich.
Yeah, you call it a hamburger, not like a bunwich.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Crazy. Oktoberfest show. We did it, guys.
Yes.
What is this? Our 13th year in a row?
Probably.
I think.
Yeah.
So actually, I think it's 3 in a row where we've done this style.
Yeah.
This layout. Steven, Ironmonger Brewing, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Follow
So much fun.
Ironmonger on the socials. Drive by October 8th, Oktoberfest party here at the brewery in Marietta, Georgia. Matthew, thank you. The Beer Growler Brookhaven. There it is. Beer Growler Brookhaven, Georgia.
Tap into
if
taste.
you're in the area, come by and hang out. We appreciate you guys coming and joining us for this show. We look forward to seeing you next year for Oktoberfest blind beer tasting. Next week, I'll tell you next week who we're talking to.
All right,
we're
do
working on it. We're working on it. For more craft beer info, follow us online. We are Beer Guys Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Oktoberfest. And don't forget to drink German. Cheers.
the chicken beans.
Fun stuff.
So technically, we're still streaming. That was just us finishing the recording.
That was the recording. We did.
Hey guys, we're waving goodbye, but we're still here.
Keep your clothes on.
Yeah.
Start doing it. What was that TV show that like they did kind of creepily waved out there? Yeah. So those are the live stream. I'd love you to chime in if you've been drinking an Oktoberfest tonight, or what do you think of our rankings in your past experiences there?
Didn't Hofbrauhaus get predicted as being in our top 5, and it was our tie for number 3? I believe so.
I'm betting
you are correct, sir.
Look at that.
You are correct. Good
you can
prediction.
Keep your beard.
That's right.
Yes.
You can keep grow a beard and then
grow a beard, keep it. Yep, Hofbrau. It's in there.
Got it.
It did indeed make it.
Yep.
Good skills.
We got the extra Ironmonger Oktoberfest in the fridge.
Do we? Yeah. Let's have a celebratory pour.
Celebratory.
The owners will be happy.
Yes.
That's 2 years in a row blind tasted. So your brewer knows what he's doing.
You can't brag about this until after the weekend because you can't spoil our spoil our thing. But there you go. Got the props there. For those locally, you can get this, and I'm guessing this may end up on tap at the Beer Growler Brookhaven.
You know it will.
Or in cans at least, right? Yeah.
There is a strong chance of
there
that.
you go.
We're gonna start a good relationship.
It's gonna wind up there.
Good stuff.
You can't deny how good it is now.
Yeah.
Blind tasted. It's a winner. It's a winner.
That was my heart.
That was
It was 9 and 5.
yeah. Yeah, it got tough, man, tossing some of these back and forth.
Was that your number 2 or your number 1?
Yeah.
That
was
that time for my number 3 was tough.
What happens?
gotcha.
What happens with this?
You chug it.
Yeah.
Chug.
I think we like.
You're like
It's an award for our.
That sounds very
our beer pour.
Oh, we didn't even. Yeah, very pre-COVID.
That sounds very pre-COVID.
I want that on a shirt more than anything else we've said. That sounds
very pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. Yeah.
Well, y'all, we're going to go ahead and take care. Yes, look for the Ironmonger. Agree with you. Keep an eye out for it. And if you can't find it at your shop, come see the brewery in Marietta. We're going to pitch it, man. Come visit the brewery. New events coming up.
I've got a
holler at Steven.
I've got glow throw. I've got all sorts of things. You want to
throw axes,
drink
drink beer, and throw axes.
Just come out and meet me. I'm all for any sorts of ideas.
Bring your axes because you never know what you might need to throw.
You know what though? You can't throw knives. I did find that out because I wanted to throw knives. And they're like, apparently the little sharp thing, they chop up the axe boards too much.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
The sharpness of the blade as opposed to the sharpness of the axe.
Well, I'm just apparently just the way the knives work. I guess it's harder on those axe boards.
We've got some seasoned axe coaches out here. They'll tell you the fine points for sure.
Okay. See, it'd be a good time.
Seasoned coaches, delicious.
They've got a old school Nintendo in the corner.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And sword fights on the weekend.
Sword fights and mead. You can go berserker if you want. You can
like
hit the mead next door.
It's like an umbrella bucket, but it's full of swords. You just grab one when you come in the door.
Start with axe throwing. We're gonna get knives. We're gonna get those little things that you like. Those balls with spikes.
The mace.
A flail.
A flail.
Yeah.
So is it on a chain?
The little chain thing.
Yeah,
that never seems
flail.
safe even for the handler.
No.
One wrong move.
Like,
honestly,
like
most
when you
medieval
learn that-
weapons seem like they were deadly for everybody involved.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about
Strange.
it.
The learning
Once
curve on
again,
how that works.
we
You know,
are getting off the rails here. Pros to you two. Y'all have a fantastic week. Enjoy your Oktoberfest season, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Cheers, y'all.